help us determine that a tornado is occurring.
I'm Michael Calhoun with the latest.
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt.
But that trust of teens at Six Flags St. Louis ends after just one weekend. I'm Michael Calhoun with the moves being made.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine mixing with clouds today, breezy and cool this afternoon, high 64.
We have ourselves a baseball team. Cardinals are playing some good ball right now. That's in 15 minutes.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
Deborah Rodriguez, former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted again. Correspondent Cammie McCormick.
Well, they're back. This time about a picture of seashells on a North Carolina beach a year ago.
Comey had posted to Instagram a photo of seashells forming the numbers 8647. He later deleted the photo, saying he didn't realize some people associated those numbers with violence. Charges against Comey in another case were dismissed in November. He posted his reaction to the latest charges on his Substack.
Nothing has changed with me. I'm still innocent. I'm still not afraid. And I still believe in the independent federal judiciary, so let's go.
The FCC has launched a review of broadcast licenses for 8 ABC-owned TV stations for possible violations after talk show host Jimmy Kimmel's comments about First Lady Melania Trump having the glow of an expectant widow. Clayton Weimers with Reporters Without Borders.
It should startle anyone, regardless of your politics, that the independent agency that is the FCC would be threatening to shut down a company because of the content that it's running on its airwaves.
Last night at the White House, the president hosted a state dinner for King Charles and Queen Camilla.
I want to congratulate Charles on having made a fantastic speech today at Congress. He got the Democrats to stand. I've never been able to do that.
The king got some laughs after he presented the president with a bell from the HMS Trump, a World War II British submarine.
Should you ever need to get hold of us, or just give us a ring?
The royals are scheduled to visit the 9/11 memorial in New York today. More devastating storms have pounded parts of the South, spawning tornadoes and hail the size of ping pong balls. Jonathan Smith was at his high school west of Dallas in Mineral Springs, Texas, when a twister tore through.
I was in my 8th period and I saw it all get dark. I'm like, what? We were there and then it just got black. Like we looked northeast and it was just black. We looked there and it's just black in the middle, then just dark gray everywhere else.
Homes and businesses were leveled. A new report finds more minorities are getting shut out of health care. The Commonwealth Fund's David Radley.
Asian Americans and white people tend to get the very best of what the healthcare system has to offer, while Black people, Hispanic people, and Indigenous people, Alaska Native and American Indian, those three groups tend to struggle the most.
Gas at a new 4-year high of $4.23 a gallon today. This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
It is 6:03, and right now we've got 52 degrees with clear skies. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. In the news this morning, 2,000 Missouri Ameren customers are still without power after Monday's storms. Most of the outages are in St. Louis County, namely between Maryland Heights and North County. On their website, Ackerman says they expect the majority of the affected St. Louis County customers to have their power turned back on by the end of today.
2 tornadoes have been confirmed in the Metro East following our round of severe thunderstorms on Monday. National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Elmore says survey teams are still in the field working to pin down the exact path of each tornado. They're also comparing damage to radar imagery to separate tornadic winds from straight line wind damage.
We're still fine-tuning the exact magnitude of the damage. The Germantown one currently we have rated that an EF1. And then the St. Clair to Clinton County, north of Mascouda toward Trenton, we currently have a maximum rating of EF2.
A third tornado may have also touched down in Madison County north of St. Jacob, but that has not yet been confirmed.
A flood warning has been issued along the Mississippi River from Quincy, Illinois, down to Cape Girardeau, Missouri. The National Weather Service issued the warning last night that is expected to last until Sunday afternoon. The peak of the flooding is expected on Friday. The agency advises drivers to turn around, don't drown when encountering flooded roads, as most flood deaths occur in vehicles.
The city's top financial officer is withholding her support for the proposed St. Louis city budget. Controller Donna Behringer abstained from Tuesday's vote at the Board of Estimate and Apportionment. The spending plan includes millions of dollars for new social services, including a $2 million allocation for the Code Blue Winter Shelter Program.
Behringer says she supports the programs themselves, but she refuses to sign off on the budget because it lacks a sustainable long-term financial plan to pay for them in the future.
The reason it gives me pause is because I was here in 2008 when we had to furlough all the city employees. And I absolutely don't want to see that happen again. I want us to plan for sustainability for all these projects like Code Blue that are doing great things for our city. But I have to make sure that we don't make that mistake again.
Behringer says she expects the Board of Aldermen to address her concerns before a final vote is taken.
An announcement later this morning in Forest Park by Associated General Contractors of America touting new jobs coming to the region.
Brian Tremail is the national spokesman for AGC, and he says while the construction market is good in St. Louis, it might not stay that way, so he has a warning.
And in fact, there's something happening back in D.C. where we're from that we wanted to warn people about, which is the fact that a lot of economic activity in this country is generated by good transportation connections. You know, right? When you build a new highway, you get a lot of development near it. When you build new transit, you get a lot of transit-oriented development. When you have good transportation connections, manufacturers, shippers like to locate in those areas. And Missouri's done a really good job, as I understand it, is rebuilding much of its interstate capacity.
Tremail tells KMOX the AGC is at risk of losing a good partner in the federal government.
Because Congress is delaying, or looks like they're intent to delay passage of the next highway and transportation bill, which pays for 80% of all highway road construction projects in this country. Current law expires at the end of September. Right now, Congress is already starting to miss deadlines on the work it needs to do to get a new bill passed in time.
And Tremail says really good things are happening with construction employment in St. Louis, but that job growth is at risk if Congress fails to do their part. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Six Flags St. Louis's new owners are tightening up the rules.
Any guest 16 or younger found without a chaperone starting this Friday will be subject to immediate ejection without a refund. The updated code of conduct also explicitly bans any face coverings that conceal a guest's identity. That includes so-called shiesty masks and neck gaiters and hoods with front zippers. All of these changes come after the reports from opening Saturday of masked teens threatening park patrons before a massive fight broke out, and after Enchanted Park CEO James Harhide told KMOX this.
You know, we all have to be respectful, and I just hope everybody will be respectful, and if they're not, we'll be showing them out the door. And then if that policy doesn't work, then we'll be more strict on the other items as we go forward.
Park public safety personnel are also utilizing surveillance and body-worn cameras to monitor the midways throughout the season.
We have a very limited set of patience when it comes to unruly behavior.
Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, Centene reported a $6.5 billion loss in February. Despite a sharp decline in health insurance marketplace enrollees, Centene is now reporting a profit for the first 3 months of this year. According to the Business Journal, net earnings, $1.5 billion, increased 17% from the first quarter last year.
Enrollment in the Affordable Care Act fell 36% compared to this time last year because Congress wouldn't renew the enhanced subsidies. Centene did benefit from increased membership in its Medicare prescription drug plan and increased rates.
It is now 6:08. When we come back, we'll take another look at traffic and weather here on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Let's talk about air medical memberships. In an emergency, you don't choose who transports you. Dispatch sends the closest, most appropriate aircraft. Here's what matters: speed, skill, advanced care. Like critical care crews trained for the toughest moments. Like onboard blood that can make the difference between life and death. Arch Air Medical Service delivers life-saving air medical care across Effingham and surrounding communities. When you call for help, we bring hospital-level care to you. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. And about the cost, the No Surprises Act protects patients with private health insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You're only responsible for your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. Medicare and Medicaid patients have similar protections. No surprise bills, no balance billing, no membership required. Because when it's your life on the line, what matters isn't membership, it's medicine. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Easy Cater, the best way to order great food from favorite restaurants for all your festivities. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. From traditional favorites like enchiladas and mole to festive options like a build-your-own taco bar, even breakfast. Chilaquiles, anyone? Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com and get 1,000 bonus points on every order with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It's 6:10, and Roger Brand is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, no complaints out there so far this morning time. We've been doing great on the highways. Weather's cooperating, cloudy, but dry, at least roads to start your Wednesday morning. And normally the first place we see the slow going is on 55, and it still looks all right. I mean, it's busier, but you're not bogged down yet coming up into the work zone at the Merrimack River, north of Bayless, coming into the city. Everything looks good. 270 both ways of Ladue. You're fine. 70 out west from Warrenton. Southbound 61, and we see volume early coming down from Highway P, but right now that looks to be at a pretty good clip as well. Again, we've just been seeing slow traffic on Route 3, and it doesn't really look that bad right now. Just a little brief busy stretch at Queenie and Monsanto. Northbound, really just Monsanto, southbound side, a couple of slowdowns there. So interstate-wise and even on the secondaries, we're pretty much good go right now. Next update at 6:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Is your financial advisor working more for your retirement or for his? Find out the real story behind the financial industry with Greg Ayler, Saturdays at 1 on Fire, Your Financial Advisor.
Sunshine today, mixing with clouds at times. It'll be breezy and cool this afternoon, high 64. Becoming mainly clear tonight and quite chilly, though, 44. Sunny to partly cloudy tomorrow, high 65. Partly sunny and cool Friday, high only 61. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, we've got clear skies, 52 degrees in downtown St. Louis.
It's 6:12. A federal grand jury indicted former FBI Director James Comey over a social media post the government says threatened President Trump. The move comes 3 days after an alleged assassin rushed the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley says to Fox News, Congress still hasn't gotten straight answers about how the president is being protected.
This is the third attempt on the life of this president in 2 years. I don't know that we've ever gotten full transparency on what happened in Butler. I think we need to be 100% sure that the president is being adequately protected. I think we need to be sure they've got the resources they need. And I just think the public deserves total transparency.
We need to unite as a nation and saying to 86, the president of the United States, whether you think kill or to cancel or whatever, it has no place in the public discourse.
That's Missouri Congressman Mark Alford telling CNN as a member of Congress he intends to keep the conversation going.
I've been thinking about this a lot. What can I do personally? I have a communication directive that I sent out last week to our staff before this attempt on the president's life or his cabinet this past weekend that we're going to start being positive.
Alford says while he may not agree with everyone in Congress, he is going to talk to all of his colleagues and listen to his constituents.
Whether they be Republican, Independent, Democrat, politically agnostic. We've got to listen, reflect, and respond.
A lesson in shared values and Christian beliefs as King Charles called for peace in his historic address before Congress. KMOX religion editor Fred Bottomer reports.
According to King Charles, the Christian faith is a firm anchor and daily inspiration that guides him.
Having devoted a large part of my life to interface relationships and greater understanding. It is that faith in the triumph of light over darkness, which I have found confirmed countless times.
King Charles said he is inspired by the profound respect that develops as people of different faiths grow in their understanding of each other. And that's why he says it's his prayer that in these turbulent times, working together, we can promote peace and deepen mutual understanding, and to value all people of all faiths and of none. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The Cardinals spent the evening in Pittsburgh, and they looked great, starting with starter Kyle Leahy.
4 home runs for O'Hearn. The pitch, a swing and a miss. Leahy strikes out the side. He mixed a double in for Lau, but left Lau on second.
How about that to get the game started? That was in the first inning. Top of the second, Nolan Gorman.
A swing, and there it goes down the right field line. A Nolan Gorman home run on the first pitch thrown by Braxton Ashcraft in the second.
And that may have been into the Allegheny. That's how good he hit it. I would be surprised if it's not.
This one was in the Allegheny. Vic,
player that played at West Virginia. Next pitch to him is hit high and deep to right field. He got it. It's gone, and it's over the bleachers. A home run for Victor Scott, his first of the season. And the Cardinals have had 2 solo big flies in the early going. It's 2-0 St. Louis.
Nice to see Vic pick it up offensively, and Jordan Walker.
0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and we're in the third inning. Ground ball left side, base hit, Jordan Walker. Walker drives in J.J. Weatherholt with 2 outs, and the Cardinals take a 3-0 lead in the third inning.
An O'Neill Cruz home run cut a 6-0 Cardinals lead to 6-1 in the 6th. Then a 2-run homer by O'Hearn cut it to 6-3. Walker back at it in the 7th.
They have been helpful. Ground ball right side, base hit for Walker. He's going to get another RBI. Rounding third and scoring is Herrera as Burleson goes first to third. And Jordan Walker now has 19 RBIs on the season, his second hit of the ball game. And the Cardinals get one of those runs right back. It's now 7-3 St. Louis.
Cardinals expanded that lead to 11-3. And although they gave up some runs late, they did have enough to pick up an 11-7 victory. And Vic, an opportunity to speak to Cardinal TV's Danny Wexelman.
I saw your reaction after your home run. What was going on in your mind?
It's a good way to break out of something, man. That's what it feels like to catch a barrel. So, that just felt really good, and just all the prayers and all the blessings. I can't do anything but thank God. So,
You've been working on your offense and in that box. What are things you've been focused on?
just a more profound approach, just releasing the barrel. Hitting line drives to shortstop is good in theory, but when you don't get that barrel out there, it's a little tough. So I just try to release the barrel and keep working hard.
Cardinals also getting a victory in front of what Victor said. His dad certainly was watching. His dad grew up in the Pittsburgh area and was proud of that home run, he said, as the Cardinals get the win 11-7. They're 16-13 on the season and currently in third place in the NL Central. Stanley Cup playoffs. It was a win for the Edmonton Oilers last night, 4-1 over Anaheim to cut the Ducks lead to 3-2 in that series. Minnesota goes up 3-2 on Dallas with a 4-2 win on the road, and Boston kept its season alive with a 2-1 win at Buffalo in overtime. In the NBA playoffs, San Antonio advanced to the next round with a 114-95 win over Portland. The New York Knicks clobbered Atlanta 126-97 to go up 3-2 in that series. And Philadelphia, surprisingly, goes into Boston, beats the Celtics 113-97, 33 points for Joel Embiid. And that series lead is now 3-2 for the Celtics. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRCM.
If you have a home to sell, you have a big decision to make. And it's probably not even the decision that you are thinking. You're thinking, my decision is, do I buy this house? And, forget about all of that. Who's selling your home? Because that is the most valuable thing that you own, most likely. Call Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, because you don't want to leave any money on the table. You don't want it to be sitting there wasting your time and giving you stress. Gloria Liu will guarantee that she'll sell your home. That's why it's Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria and her team don't sell just a couple of homes a year or a dozen homes a year. They sell hundreds of homes a year because Gloria has the buyers, and she'll have a buyer for your home. She'll guarantee in writing to sell your home at the price and time frame you both agree upon, or she'll buy it herself. So you're not tied to that home until somebody gives you the right offer. And in fact, Gloria will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. I don't think you'll find other agents willing to do the same. So call Gloria with all your questions, 314-325-6888, or find her online now at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Your morning news and information. Total Information AM.
Checking traffic, Roger Brand, overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're doing all right out there, Tom. This traffic report's a service of Artistic Decks. Heading out on the highways, of course, there's a little more volume. So we're starting to see a little bit of a slowdown northbound 55, north of Richardson, up to the Merrimack River in the work zone. And again, just a little busy between Bayless and Weber around Loughborough. It's a little crowded as well. Northbound 270 still hustling along from 55. Looks good passing Gravois, 44, both directions around Ladue. You're good to go. Southbound 61 still doesn't look bad. Coming down from P to 64. And if you take 64 or 70, they're both in great shape coming out of St. Charles County. On the Illinois side, 64 through Fairview Heights, good, still okay across the Poplar. And still seeing just some slow traffic around Mount Sano and a little bit of a backup southbound Route 3 at Queenie. Next update at 6:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Summer's here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
Taking a look at the forecast, it looks like we don't have any more rain heading our way until maybe Sunday. And that's just maybe a shower late in the day. So that's the good news. We're going to see some sunshine for the next few. Cool temperatures remaining, though. So 64 today with a mix of sun and clouds, 65 tomorrow, 61 on Friday. It's 52 out there right now.
The news continues at 6:22. It took nearly 3 years and a federal trial, but former St. Louis Alderman Brandon Bosley is now heading to prison. Bosley was sentenced yesterday to 16 months for defrauding an auto insurance company out of less than $8,000 on a claim involving his Prius, and then lying to the FBI about it. Prosecutors pushed for a longer sentence, the Post-Dispatch reports, releasing newly public records in which Bosley made anti-Semitic and racist remarks. His attorney argued the Bosley family name made him a target. Federal prosecutors called that suggestion ludicrous.
St. Charles County Police are adding to their existing fleet of drones to enhance emergency response.
St. Charles County Police Chief Kurt Frizz talked with the Chris and Amy Show.
We can launch a drone as first responder unit up and get over scene and start talking to the officers or the first responders before they get on scene to start advising right away what the situation looks like.
Chief Frizz says having these extra drones will allow officers to know exactly the situation they are responding to.
It could be a robbery suspect with a gun or anything like that. We can get eyes on and start talking to the officers right away about what the situation really looks like. Maybe the best way to approach what they see, what they don't see.
Fruit says this added technology will also provide assistance in searching for missing people. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Many farmers are losing money on traditional crops, but plant-based protein could help them reap a profit.
Everything from cereal to soda. Crops like peas, lentils, and chickpeas are in high demand.
One farmer in rural Montana told us that he will lose about $35 per every acre of wheat that he plants, but he'll make $8 per acre of lentils. So it can be a super profitable.
Heather Schlitz covers commodity markets and agriculture for Reuters. She says it's hard to know how long the trend will last. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The expansion of an agricultural tech company is bringing 40 new jobs to Hazelwood and Creve Coeur. Pivot Bio announcing 2 new facilities in the St. Louis region. That move comes as the company continues to focus its presence in the Midwest after moving its headquarters from California to Minnesota last year.
Governor Mike Kehoe details how both the state and the city of St. Louis have become a hub for the nation's agricultural technology.
Not only are we the heartland, where we are producing and feeding and clothing the world with $93 billion impact our agriculture economy has on Missouri's economy. We're number 2 in the United States at 87,000 family-owned farms. I mean, if you think about agriculture from row crop to livestock, it's happening right here.
The USDA pressing forward on its plans to move jobs to Missouri. U.S. Ag Secretary Brooke Rawlins says some employees of the department's Economic Research Service and National Institute of Food and Agriculture will relocate to Kansas City.
Some of those positions were originally moved in 2019 under Trump term 1, but then they, under the Biden administration, ended up sprawling out all across America. We are now relocating all of those people to Kansas City as originally intended.
The USDA's National Ag Statistics Service will also be relocating some jobs to St. Louis. When that relocation of workers begins is unknown.
What does it take to stay relevant in your career? KMOX discussed that with Mary Olson Menzel, an executive leadership coach and author. She says there are some skill sets that never go out of style.
And continue to be evergreen are really around your people leader skills, around being an empathetic, creative leader. All of those human attributes that we have are the things that AI can't take away from us, but we also have to understand that we need to be able to utilize and use technology to the best of our abilities and understand it so that we can lead at every level and every generation.
If you're looking to do a job pivot, Olson Menzel says it's important to get clear about where you are today and where you want to go.
Really understanding what's driving you, what's lighting you up. There's this thing in the book that it's a Japanese word called ikigai, and it is all around, translated to English, it's your reason for being. And it's this beautiful Venn diagram of what you're good at, what you love to do, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. And so you start to think about your next step in your career, or, pivoting into whatever might be next to light you up. You really can think about ikigai, right? What are the talents and the skills that I'm bringing to the table? What do I love to do? But also, where's the gaps? Where can I actually fill a need in the world? And then can I get paid for it?
You can find the entire interview on the subject right now at the KMOX podcast page.
It is 6:27 and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Everyone needs to have at least one person in their corner in life. When you don't, it's an extremely lonely and frightening place to be. But knowing you have that one person gives you peace and hope. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Since 1988, myself and my firm have been in so many corners for so many clients for so many years. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason, and it's not even close. We fought like hell for you. We fight the bullies, automobile insurance companies, the makers of unsafe products, medical providers who injured or killed their own patients. It has been such an honor and made my life complete. If you ever need us, it's easy. On your mobile device or computer, visit forthepeople.com, and then we get to work 24/7. Whether you're hurt in a car crash, injured on the job, or have questions about your Social Security, we're here for you. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
It is 6:30, and right now it's windy out there, but I do see some clouds and some sunshine. It's 52 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, there's a few more folks on the highways, and on the south side is where most of that volume is, obviously. Northbound 55, north of Richardson up to the Merrimack, and the construction zone there is slow going, and then you're backed up from the Union Road overpass up to Weber, and still slow after that up to about Virginia before you get a good run going, headed up the rest of the way through the city. If you're on northbound 270, it's a little slow passing Doherty Ferry. It's a little slow Clayton Road overpass up to 64 out west. Starting to see a little bit of a slowdown. Eastbound 70, David Hokel Parkway headed into Wentzville Parkway. And then again, east of K through TR Hughes is heavy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway onto 64, and 64 between Prospect and Lake St. Louis Boulevard is getting a little slow as well. On the Illinois side, again, a brief slowdown now. Westbound 64 at 159, and still seeing some slow traffic. A little bit of a jam, actually. Southbound Route 3 at Queenie, and slow traffic both ways through Monsanto. Next update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
No rain in the forecast until maybe late on Sunday. We're going to have sun and clouds for the next few days. The cool temperatures remaining. Today, sun and clouds 64. Tomorrow, 65. Friday, 61. Currently, it's 52 degrees downtown.
The National Weather Service confirms 2 tornadoes, but survey teams are still in the field investigating whether a third touchdown.
The National Weather Service confirms 2 tornadoes from Monday night's storms, an EF1 near Germantown and Clinton County, and a stronger EF2 that tracked through parts of St. Clair County toward the Trenton area. But survey teams are still in the field, now looking at damage north of St. Jacob in Madison County that could point toward a third twister. Meteorologist Alex Elmore says figuring that out takes more than just eyeballing the records.
We have to compare the damage to radar imagery to see exactly when it happened, or if some of the damage, oftentimes when we have tornadoes, there could be a swath of straight line wind damage on the south side of the tornado's track. So we have to determine what may have been tornadic winds and then what may have been more straight line winds.
Elmore says that the Madison County damage is confirmed as tornadic. It would have happened during the afternoon, well before the 2 evening tornadoes. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A new St. Louis City budget is advancing to the Board of Aldermen. It includes a 7% pay raise for police officers mandated by the state-controlled police board a few weeks ago. Finding the money for that raised concerns other city departments would take a hit to balance the ledger.
But Mayor Kara Spencer says the final spending plan manages to absorb the police raises without sacrificing basic municipal services.
This budget does a few other things. One, it really balances, the services that we need to keep providing our citizens while recognizing the raises that the police department passed, the police board passed about 6 weeks ago.
Spencer notes the budget fully funds a $4 million increase for derelict building demolition.
The Lincoln County prosecutor has agreed not to seek the death penalty against Pam Hupp. In exchange, Hupp has agreed to a bench trial. In the case of the murder of Betsy Faria in 2011, Faria was stabbed more than 50 times, and her husband, Russ Faria, was arrested and convicted of that murder. The conviction was overturned. Betsy Faria changed the beneficiary on her life insurance to her friend, Pam Hupp. Fox 2 reporting that Hupp's trial is set for January.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute next.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
For the last 33 years, you've discovered that at Banner Construction, we pride ourselves on quality craftsmanship. We believe the single most important decision homeowners must make when considering an exterior restoration project is, who do you hire? At Banner, we provide well-engineered, meaningful, long-term solutions to transform your home into the pride of the neighborhood. Let us help you fall in love with your home all over again. Call 314-569-1050 or visit bannerconstruction.com and have a banner day.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
It is now 6:36, and it's time for your Money Minute from Bloomberg, sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is the Bloomberg Money Minute. Disney is not planning on spinning off ESPN. According to a report from Business Insider, the sports channels will continue to stay within Disney as the unit builds out its streaming offerings. Analysts have speculated for years that Disney would spin off its sports networks, especially after the company began reporting ESPN's earnings results separately. A spokesperson for ESPN declined to comment. Turning to trading, stock futures holding steady this morning. Wall Street is getting ready for earnings from tech giants. After the closing bell, Google parent Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta all report. And General Motors says the war is driving higher than expected costs for the car maker. GM now expects commodity inflation to set back its earnings by as much as $2 billion this year. The warning highlights how the Iran war is beginning to reverberate through corporate America, choking supply lines and sending energy prices soaring. This report is sponsored by Fidelity. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, and we are discussing esophageal cancer with Dr. Raymond Jin, WashU Medicine medical oncologist at Siteman Cancer Center. Dr. Jin, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Is there anything that one can do to prevent esophageal cancer?
Sure, that's a topic that's near and dear, close to my heart. What's interesting for me is that the esophageal cancers we see here in the West in the United States are kind of what we call distal, so they're kind of further down, and they start from the inside and grow out. They all kind of originate from a precursor state called Barrett's esophagus. It's basically caused by years of chronic reflux. So if, a GI person does an endoscopy, sticks a camera down there, we can actually see these Barrett's lesions.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mirafiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mirafiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Don't miss the Route 66 Centennial Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Bring back memories of the Mother Road's stunning natural scenery and roadside attractions, and explore its complex history and impacts on communities across the region. Featuring a concert by Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, food trucks, lectures, kids crafts, and more. All activities are free. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Tonight,
The Cards, the Pirates.
Cameron Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Let's check in with Roger Brand again, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, it's not bad out there right now. Getting a little busier, but nothing out of hand yet anyway. This traffic reports the service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Northbound 55 has that slowdown north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. It's heavy again at the Union Road overpass, sort of pockets all the way up through about Virginia. Northbound 270, a couple of slowdowns. Tesson Ferry through Gravois, north of Big Bend to Manchester, and then north of Manchester up to 64, another slowdown into that work zone. Southbound 61, kind of busy south of P, midway down to Wentzville Parkway. Crossing over 64 is a little heavy, but then it doesn't really look that bad. Eastbound Highway 70, a little busy at Highway Z. There's a brief slowdown at TR Houston Cave Springs. Again, really not that bad. Seeing delays again this morning, eastbound 30, Northwest Boulevard up to Gravois Bluffs. We had signal problems there the other day. And then it's a little slow from West Watson up the hill to 270 after that. Westbound 64 at Boyle at the exit. The right lane starting to bog down a bit, and there's a little bit of a slowdown on the Illinois side, westbound 64, passing 159. Next update at 6:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
It is 6:41. Let's check in with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg. And I guess the good news is the rain is done, at least for a while.
We've had enough of this month. I mean, we're over twice normal rainfall for the month of April. So we're going to turn the spigots off for a few days. That's good news. Bad news is not going to be very warm. Only 64 today with sunshine mixing with clouds. The breeze picks up too. And tonight turns out mainly clear after some evening clouds, a low of 44. Some of the outlying areas could get into the upper 30s. Sunshine tomorrow mixes with clouds again, the high 65. A cool day Friday with sun and clouds, only 61. Then not much different Saturday. Clouds and sun and cool, high 62. Gets a little bit warmer on Sunday. We start with sunshine, then clouds start to build toward the end of the day. There could be a shower. Sunday's high about 74. Right now it's down to 49 at St. Peter's, 50 in Florissant. Partly sunny, 54 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, Joe. At 6:42, the Clinton County Sheriff has released a statement about Monday night storms. Dan Travis says there were no injuries to report. He says the area around Germantown was hit exceptionally hard, destroyed mobile homes, trees on top of and inside homes, power lines snapped all over town.
Clinton County Emergency Management Agency is working with the Red Cross, helping residents who've been displaced. The Clinton County Sheriff's Office phones are working once again. Linemen from all around the region are now working to restore power as quickly as possible.
This was an interesting conversation with Dave Glover. It's always good to take precautions when storms are coming, says meteorologist Dave Murray, but he's hesitant about the hype that storm front had more than a week out being billed as the worst ever.
In my book, this was classic St. Louis late April thunderstorms.
When asked if forecasting and modeling has gotten more accurate,
I think modeling has gotten out of control. There's about 10 different models, and then there's offshoots of those models, and then you can make comparisons, and you can make comparisons from model run to model run. Is that a lot of so-called forecasting is that you're just looking at models. You're looking at computer outputs, and that's not forecasting.
How much money should you have set aside for an emergency? Dave Simons is partner and managing director of One Private Wealth. He says this is one of the most common questions he gets when speaking to groups. But he says that 6-month rule stands. You should have 6 months of your salary saved aside in case you lose your job.
That's unemployment. That's losing the job. Let's focus more on what we're talking about here, the storm. You've got some things to replace that may not be covered by insurance. You have a refrigerator that just went on the blink. You need 4 new tires for your car, whatever. Typically, what we want to do there is have at least 10 grand. And now that's a very arbitrary number, but that usually will cover any of the day-to-day emergencies, some of which I just mentioned.
Dave Simons is a guest of Chris and Amy's every Tuesday morning.
Stress and pregnancy. I'm Fred Bottomer with 60 Seconds to Better Health. New research is examining how stress outside the doctor's office can affect pregnancy outcomes. Experts say factors like income, housing stability, systemic bias, and even environmental pressures can play a major role in maternal and fetal health.
Looking at 3 key biological factors affecting pregnancy. So these were oxidative stress, inflammation, and uteroplacental vascular resistance. And too much of any of these factors has been strongly linked in the literature to worse pregnancy outcomes. Black women are more likely to express a higher level of these factors compared to white women. Stresses such as systemic racism and socioeconomic disadvantages can affect these biological factors in Black women.
With 60 Seconds to Better Health, I'm Fred Bottomer.
the Cardinals offense has exploded. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania last night.
Marco to Burleson, a swing, and there's a drive, deep right center field. That ball is going to hit down off the base of the wall. Burleson is on his way to second base, a 2-run double. The Cardinals have an 11-3 lead in the 8th inning and a 3 RBI night for Alec Burleson.
With more, here's Cable X's Matt Pauley.
The Cardinals explode for 11 runs, beating the Pirates 11-7. Alec Burleson, Jordan Walker, and Nolan Gorman all drive in 3 runs. Gorman and Victor Scott II hit home runs. Manager Oliver Marmol is clearly happy to see a night like this from his hitters.
Middle of our lineup did a really nice job. You look at Burley swings today, much better, stayed on the ball and drove in 3. Gorman, big homer, drives in a couple as well. Walker stayed on some pitches, looked much better today. So the middle there did a really nice job, and the rest other guys, man, just created opportunities for them. So overall, good approach. A lot to be happy about.
The 11 runs are the most the Cardinals have scored in Pittsburgh since May of 2022, when the team put up 18 runs in a game where Albert Pujols came off the bench to hit 2 home runs. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Have you taken a look at these standings of the National League? The Phillies are a miserable baseball team, although they did win yesterday with their new manager, Don Mattingly. He's taken over on an interim basis after the Phillies fired Rob Thompson. The Mets haven't fired their manager yet, but they're also 10-19, bringing up the rear in the National League. Those are the 2 worst teams in the National League. Can you believe that? The Mets and the Phillies, both with top 5 payrolls in baseball. The Cardinals are 3 games out in the NL Central. They're 16-13. The leader is the Reds at 19-10. Braves are far and away the leader in the NL East, 7 games clear of the field. The only team above 500 in the East with a 21-9 record. The Dodgers, who will come into town this weekend, Cardinals expecting some good crowds. They're 20-10 half-game lead over the Padres in the NL West. Checking the Stanley Cup playoff scoreboard, it was a win for the Boston Bruins in Buffalo. The Sabres were ready to claim that series. Boston has extended it for another game. David Pastrnak with the goal in overtime to give Boston a 2-1 victory. Buffalo leads that series 3-2. Minnesota goes up 3-2 on Dallas, winning in Dallas 4-2 last night. And Edmonton cuts Anaheim's lead to 3-2 with a 4-1 win at home over the Ducks. In the NBA, San Antonio advanced to the next round. New York went up 3-2 on Atlanta, and Philadelphia surprisingly wins in Boston and cuts the Celtics lead to 3-2. I'm Tom Ackerman, Who's Hot, Who's Not, sponsored by St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories. What a fantastic company it is. It's St. Louis Composting. What a great service they offer. Soil, compost, and mulch. How easy is it? As easy as going to stlcompost.com. One of the great websites when it comes to landscaping and your home. All you have to do is go to stlcompost.com like we did. At the top of the screen, you'll see the cubic yard calculator. You just put in the dimensions of the area you want your yard mulched, and they will tell you how many cubic yards you need, and they'll deliver it to your home. That's simple. Now, if you want to back up your truck or trailer to one of their 9 retail locations, you certainly can do that. And again, they have many different kinds of mulch. I counted about a dozen different kinds that you can have delivered to your home or job site. It's stlcompost.com. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens, making memories.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. So as you know, I'm a lawyer, haven't practiced in a long time, but I did plaintiff's work and defense work, so I have a pretty good understanding of it. I have a pretty good idea of who's who in the firmament of plaintiffs, attorneys. And for my money, Mark Cantor is the guy. He's a great attorney. He is a great practitioner. He's put together a great team. He was born and raised here. He lives here. He works here. He wins here. Call 314-628-ALL-9s or CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based on advertising.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KingdomOX.com/events.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:51. Let's check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, W northbound 55 is still bogged down north of Richardson up to the Merrimack River. It's backed up from the Union Road overpass to about Weber, but remains busy up through past Virginia. Southbound at Bates a little heavy as well in the construction area. Northbound 270, Tesson Ferry through Gravois, slow north of Manchester up to 64, kind of busy. Southbound 61, Wentzville Parkway onto 64 through Prospect, midway into the Boulevard, busy. Eastbound 70, A to Lake St. Louis Boulevard toward Bryan Road. There's a couple of pockets where it bogs down a bit. And westbound 64, a little heavy, passing 159 and 64 westbound on the Missouri side, a little slow exiting off at Boyle. Next update at 6:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says sunshine mixing with clouds, breezy and cool this afternoon, high 64. Chilly tonight, low 44. Tomorrow, sunny again with some clouds, high 65. Currently, we have a mostly clear sky in downtown St. Louis, just a few clouds overhead. It's 51 degrees.
The news continues at 6:53. Kirkwood police say they have arrested the suspect wanting for setting a fire at the Olive Chapel African Methodist Episcopal Church. 25-year-old Cole Mezek of Belleville was arrested over the weekend. He admitted to police entering the church, says he was lighting a candle. Additionally, photographs recovered from his phone placed him at the scene at the time of the fire. Mezek is currently being held at the County Justice Center on $55,000 cash-only bond.
A former Missouri state trooper is facing 21 months in prison for searching women's phones for nude images. Prosecutors say 40-year-old David McKnight unlawfully searched the cell phones of 9 women without a warrant or probable cause from September 2023 to July 2024.
McKnight was on duty when these illegal searches were being done. He would use his own cell phone to take photographs of images he found on the phones of the 7 women. In all but one of those cases, McKnight took the victims' phones back to his police vehicle, falsely claiming he needed to confirm their identification, insurance coverage, or other information.
Budweiser has a long history in St. Louis, 150 years this year. Tracy Lauer is their chief storytelling officer.
Beers originally, when they were first introduced in bottles, they were corked. The bottle cap wasn't invented until 1891, so oftentimes you'll find these wonderful pieces that advertise and market the brand that might be cork pulls.
Budweiser didn't switch over to all bottle caps until 1913. May 17th is the 150th anniversary celebration at the brewery. It includes never-before-seen artifacts, a beer garden, concert, the Clydesdales. Tickets on sale now.
If you want a drink from McDonald's, you may want to consult the beverage consultant.
Each McDonald's soon will have an employee at a dedicated space behind the counter where that person can focus solely on drinks. This comes with McDonald's announcement that starting May 6th, it will launch 6 crafted beverages, including a blackberry passion fruit flavor refresher with freeze-dried dragon fruit and a dirty Dr. Pepper. McDonald's said its sales often slump in the afternoon between meal times, and it wants to change that. Roger Plummer, News Radio, 105.9 WBBM.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement. It's your birthday.
Wilkinson's enthusiasm was translated from the sidelines to the huddle by quarterback Jim Hart. For years, number 17 has been the foundation of the explosive Cardinal offense. There are few quarterbacks who can read and break down defenses as quickly.
Amen to that. One of the great Cardinals of all time, one of the great quarterbacks in NFL history. Jim Hart is 82 today, and another big name in St. Louis sports history, that would be Curtis Joseph. The Blues goaltender went on to stardom on other stops, is 59 today.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back. Happy birthday to Rhonda Maiden of St. Louis. Also to Jennifer Halla Sindelar. Happy birthday to Navy Captain Jim Shelton.
The best birthday ever.
The Missouri Athletic Club is 123 years old. 1903 is when they started. And I'm here to tell you they have started. They're in their first weeks, just brand new with the MAC Clayton. It is one of the great spots in St. Louis. They've done a wonderful job, the Missouri Athletic Club, growing, innovating through the years. 1903 is when they started here in downtown St. Louis. Their structure at 405 Washington Avenue, 11 stories tall, great events, all kinds of things going on there daily. They have restaurants, they have bars, they have an outstanding event service, they have catering, they do events. They are phenomenal. They are a hotel, the Missouri Athletic Club in downtown St. Louis. Then you have the MAC West. That sprawling complex was just there on Monday with all of their bars and restaurants and athletic facilities and racket courts and the pool in the summer. And now the MAC Clayton, 2 stories overlooking not only downtown Clayton and Forest Park with a beautiful view of the downtown St. Louis skyline from Clayton. The MAC Clayton has fine dining, casual dining, everything the members and guests could want. The MAC. mac-stl.org.
Presented by Worldwide Technology, the Biz-5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at stlbiz-.com.
Working hard but still falling behind? Learn how real estate investing can help you build income and move forward with purpose. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
The smartest way to do your homework is Hackman Lumber.
Thinking about building a new deck? Start with the deck experts at Hackman Lumber, home of one of the largest inventories of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. From treated lumber and cedar to all the leading names in decking, their experts will help you choose the perfect materials for your dream deck. Then finish it off with endless railing options, balusters, and LED deck lighting to bring your backyard to life. Hackman Lumber will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Do it yourself? Their team is ready with expert advice. Need help from a pro? They can connect you with trusted local contractors. Also, check out their expanding paint department with custom color matching. And don't forget, follow Hackman Lumber on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to catch weekly deal specials and project inspiration all season long. Or visit us at hackmanstl.com. Locations in St. Peters, Troy, and Pacific, Missouri.
Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company's St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Tom, they call that EMS, or they're going to, for a car reported off the roadway, South 270 at the Rock Road. I don't see it right now, but being off the roadway means it's not blocking anything, so I guess that's good news. Northbound 55 North is still heavy. There are pockets from the Union Road overpass up through Virginia. Southbound from 4500 Broadway down to Bates, backed up in the work zone. Northbound 270 slow through Gravois, approaching Manchester. After that, it's not so bad. From the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM, the voice of St. Louis.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is defending the Justice Department's new indictment against former FBI Director James Comey, this time for posting a photo last year of shells in the sand, forming the numbers 86 and 47. The 86, sometimes used as a term for getting rid of something, 47 for Mr. Trump's number in the line of presidents. Blanche tells CBS Mornings.
Of course it's serious when you threaten the president of the United States, and anybody that tries to put forward some narrative that this is just about seashells or something to the contrary is missing the point.
CBS's Major Garrett asked if President Trump had directed him to charge Comey.
Of course not. Absolutely, positively not. And there's no suggestion that that's the case that happened.
Comey says he's ready to fight the charges. The saga between the president and Jimmy Kimmel continues after Mr. Trump told King Charles about his parents, a couple of ardent royal admirers who were married for 63 years. He explained to the First Lady,
"That's a record we won't be able to match, darling. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work out that way."
Wait a minute. Did he just make a joke about his death?
The talk show host, after the FCC launched a review of some of ABC's local stations over remarks Kimmel made about Melania Trump and the glow of an expectant widow. Average gas prices up to a new 4-year high today of $4.23 a gallon. CBS's Kelly O'Grady ties it to the Iran war.
If this goes on another month or so, it could really send oil prices much higher. And then you think about us here, it's not just gas prices, it's jet fuel. It's the possibility that this could cause our food prices to rise eventually. And just the general sentiment as we head into a midterm election of people being frustrated.
An alleged Central American drug kingpin's been arrested in San Diego.
Federal prosecutors say 61-year-old Eugenio Dario Molina Lopez, a.k.a. Don Dario, led a drug trafficking operation known as Los Huistas out of Guatemala near the Mexican border. The State Department had offered a $10 million reward for information leading to his capture and conviction. He pleaded not guilty to conspiracy to distribute cocaine. Authorities have not said how Molina Lopez was captured. Prosecutors say he faces up to life in prison and a $10 million fine. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Elon Musk expected back on the stand in a legal feud pitting two of the world's richest men against each other. CBS's Jolene Kent.
The billionaire who co-founded OpenAI with CEO Sam Altman told the judge and jury, "I think it's very simple. It's not okay to steal a charity." Musk is suing Altman and the company itself.
This is CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Another app for inventory, one for CRM. Oh, don't forget accounting. Wait, which login was that?
Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated system that does it all without the hassle. Ditch the app overload. Get everything your business needs on one platform. Try Odoo free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
At 7:04, we have a mostly clear sky in downtown St. Louis. It is 51 degrees. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories making news.
2,000 Missouri Ameren customers are still without power after Monday's storms. Most of those outages are in St. Louis County between Breckenridge Hills and North County. On their website, Ameren says they expect the majority of the affected St. Louis County customers to have power back by the end of today.
Radar indicated tornado warnings went out on Monday before any tornado touched down. Meteorologists say early warnings save lives.
Tornadoes tore through St. Clair and Clinton counties during the severe weather, and EF1 near Germantown and a preliminary EF2 that tracked north of Mascoutah toward the Trenton area. Both warnings were initially issued as radar indicated, meaning no one on the ground had yet confirmed a tornado. But National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Elmore says radar tools have gotten sophisticated enough that those warnings are far from guesswork. In fact, during this week's storms, radar actually confirmed a tornado was on the ground in real time through what's called a tornado debris signature.
Our radar can actually help us determine that a tornado is occurring and that it's lofting debris. You know, that could be tree leaves, it could be unfortunately pieces of outbuildings or homes, and the radar beam picks up on that and it displays it in a certain way that we are able to identify it as debris. And from that, we are able to then change the warning to say that there is a confirmed tornado doing damage.
Elmore says the warnings were upgraded mid-storm once that debris signature appeared, but stresses the original radar indicated warnings were already reason enough to take cover. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
St. Louis officials are advancing a budget that pushes back against the state-controlled Board of Police Commissioners. The spending plan passed the Board of Estimate and Apportionment yesterday.
While it covers the recently mandated pay raises for officers, it does not give the State Police Board the massive budget it originally demanded. Board of Aldermen President Megan Green.
I want to make it clear that the budget we are adopting is not the budget that SLM or that the police board asked us to adopt. We are adopting our own budget for the parameters that we think creates the best outcomes for our city when it comes to both public safety through a policing lens and through a social services lens.
Green says, for instance, the budget maintains over $8 million for the city's Office of Violence Prevention.
It's Super Drone, one more way for St. Charles County Police to keep an eye on things. While drones aren't new to the department, adding to their existing fleet enhances emergency response, says St. Charles County Police Chief Kurt Frizz.
We do have micro drones with our SWAT team. If there's a hostage situation, we've been using those for several years. So yeah, these are strictly observation platforms to get over an incident more rapidly.
Frizz tells the Chris and Amy show this increases police officer safety 100-fold, especially in barricade situations.
We actually had a homicide suspect give up to a drone. We breached the door. We had the search warrant. We breached the door. He was armed, barricaded, sent the drone in, started giving him verbal commands through a PA system, and he literally surrendered to the drone.
Frizz says the drones are extremely helpful in searching for missing police or people or a suspect on the run.
Gentry's Landing is for sale. From the KMOX business desk, the apartment high-rise on 4th Street by the Arch was built in 1965 as part of the 8-building Manches House complex. The asking price for the 28-story, 416-unit property is $53 million, according to the Business Journal.
The neighboring Mansion House, currently undergoing a $195 million renovation by New and Found, the company behind City Foundry. The third tower, the former City Place Hotel, has been vacant since 2019.
Traffic and weather next at 7:08.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Step into a fresher, cleaner home this spring with Zero Res. Spring is a time for renewal. Let Zero Res help you refresh your home with clean carpets, fresh floors, and improved air quality. Check out all of the raving customer reviews online with a 4.9 Google rating. This week, buy one room of carpet cleaned, get one room of carpet cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms. Call 314-474-2020 or go online at ZeroResSTL.com.
Looking to build your dream home? Lombardo Homes is known for quality, luxury, and thoughtful design in some of the area's most desirable communities. And for a limited time this April, we're offering something we rarely do. Exclusive incentives designed to help you get more from your new home. From a free finished recreation room to premium kitchen and cabinet upgrades to flexible perks like design credits or closing cost savings, there's an opportunity waiting for you. But these offers are available in select communities and only for a short time. Visit LombardoHomes.com or stop by a sales office today.
Let's talk about Air Medical memberships. In an emergency, you don't choose who transports you. Dispatch sends the closest, most appropriate aircraft. Here's what matters: speed, skill, advanced care. Like critical care crews trained for the toughest moments. Like onboard blood that can make the difference between life and death. Arch Air Medical Service delivers life-saving air medical care across Effingham and surrounding communities. When you call for help, we bring hospital-level care to you. Plus, we're part of Air Methods, the nation's largest air medical provider. And about the cost, the No Surprises Act protects patients with private health insurance from unexpected out-of-network air ambulance bills. You're only responsible for your in-network copay, coinsurance, or deductible. Medicare and Medicaid patients have similar protections. No surprise bills, no balance billing, no membership required. Because when it's your life on the line, what matters isn't membership, it's medicine. Learn more at airmethods.com. Copays, coinsurance, and deductibles are set by insurance providers, not Air Methods. Terms and costs may vary. Contact your insurer for details.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
7:10. Thanks for tuning in. My goodness, look at that. It is sunshine. Nice to see after several rainy, cloudy, gloomy days. Got a lot more of that in store. We'll check the forecast after we check in with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
But we still got delays coming out of Jefferson County, Debbie, on northbound 55. It's backed up north of Richardson up to 141, slow to the Merrimack and the construction zone. The right lane's a little busy, Butler Hill up through Mattis after that. And then, of course, all lanes back up again from about the Union Road overpass through Weber, but it remains slow up to Virginia. Southbound 55 approaching Bates is a little slow. North 270, north of 55 through Gravois is slow. But after that, for now, it's cleared out all the way up through Manchester, 64, Ladue. It looks fine. Southbound 61, south of Highway P, down onto 64 through to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. It's busy, but eastbound 70 looks good coming out of St. Charles County right now for you. If you're on the Illinois side, westbound 64, okay at 159. Still no delays to the Poplar. Still seeing heavy traffic, not a jam, but Route 3, southbound a brief backup at Queenie and northbound slow Monsanto up through 8th Street. Next update is 7:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
KMOX AccuWeather, sunshine mixing with clouds today, breezy and cool this afternoon, high 64. It will turn out mainly clear and chilly tonight, though 44. Tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy, high 65. A cool day Friday with times of sun and clouds, highly 61. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Right now, partly cloudy, 52 downtown at the Arch.
Following up on a KMOX exclusive.
I try to give people the benefit of the doubt as much as possible.
But the benefit of the doubt for unsupervised teens at Six Flags St. Louis has ended after just one weekend of operation.
Last Friday, Enchanted Park CEO James Harhide told KMOX he wanted to avoid a chaperone policy to allow kids that rite of passage of independence, but warned if local teens proved they could not behave, he would follow the industry trend towards stricter rules.
I want to be inclusive and allow kids to come and be kids and have a good time. But if the market proves that they can't behave themselves, then we'll probably have to follow the trend that's going around the industry.
After the Saturday night brawl involving 100 youngsters and a massive police response, the park has now reactivated its chaperone requirement for all guests 16 and younger, effective Friday, May 2nd. Harhide previously stated the park has a very limited set of patients for unruly behavior and has told his teams that those who are not respectful should be shown out the door. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Former St. Louis Alderman Brandon Bosley is headed to federal prison. Bosley was sentenced yesterday to 16 months after being convicted in January of wire fraud and lying to the FBI. The scheme centered on his Toyota Prius. Investigators say Bosley pressured an auto shop owner to inflate repair estimates so the car would be totaled, netting him nearly $8,000 from the insurance company. Prosecutors had pushed for more than 16 months.
The Lincoln County prosecutor has agreed not to seek the death penalty against Pam Hupp. In exchange, Hupp has agreed to a bench trial in the trial of the murder of Betsy Faria, which dates back to 2011. Faria was stabbed more than 50 times. Her husband, Russ Faria, was arrested and convicted of that murder, but the conviction was overturned. Betsy Faria had changed the beneficiary on her life insurance policy to Pam Hupp. Fox 2 reports that Hupp's trial is set for January.
The Missouri legislature has passed a wide-ranging military bill.
Missouri lawmakers have sent the governor a bill that would give the National Guard new authority to assist with cybersecurity prevention and response for state and local purposes. The legislation would also strengthen and update National Guard protections, including reemployment rights and health insurance coverage during extended state duty. It is sponsored by State Representative Bill Hardwick of Dixon. Elisa Nelson, Missouri Net.
The bottle cap was an important invention. Before it, your Budweiser would come with a cork, says Anheuser-Busch Chief Storytelling Officer Tracy Lauer.
We started experimenting with that new invention, the bottle cap, around 1903, and then switched solely to the bottle cap about 1913. Aluminum cans really didn't come out until the 1960s when beer was canned for the very first time in 1936 for Anheuser-Busch, for Budweiser specifically. They were steel cans.
Lauer also takes care of the archive. She says there is so much there after 150 years. Among her favorite things are all the photos of workers from over the years. She says a century ago, it might have been the only photo of themselves that a person had ever had taken. The 150th Budweiser anniversary celebration at the brewery is May 17th. Tickets are on sale now.
Let's go to our cut of the game, the Diamond Shop, thediamondshop.net. You know, there was a lot of offense last night for the Cardinals in Pittsburgh. We've talked about it all morning. 11 runs scored, but I think maybe this guy surprised some people by the way he was getting swing and miss. He is Kyle Leahy.
1-2 the count. Lau at the plate, and the pitch is a called strike three on the outside corner. Leahy picks up another strikeout. He has 6.
He had Lau guessing there, and he watched that one go by. He was getting swing and miss all over the place. And the Cardinals starting pitcher, Kyle Leahy, steps in and puts together the following performance. 5 1/3, 3 runs allowed on 9 hits, but he walked no one, and he struck out 2, Matt Pauley.
Cardinal starting pitcher Kyle Leahy picks up his 3rd win of the year, but more importantly, he works into the 6th inning and gets the experience of facing an order for a 3rd time. In a game the Cardinals win 11-7 over the Pirates, his teammates give him a lead to work with, scoring 6 runs in the first 6 innings. Leahy takes a shutout into the 6th and ends up allowing 3 runs in the inning, but as Leahy transitions into a starter, manager Oliver Marmol stresses the importance of Leahy being able to work deeper into a game.
He had the pitches to do it. It's one of those situations where the scorer is allowing you to continue to let him go out there and experience it. You can see he's running into a little bit of a wall, but he did a really nice job with that lineup. Mixed well, was landing all his pitches. The lefties gave him trouble there 3rd time through, but it was good for him to feel that.
The 5 1/3 innings pitched for Leahy are a career high. Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Matt, offensively, it was a big day for the Cardinals. Alec Burleson was 2 for 4 with 2 runs scored and 3 RBIs. Jordan Walker was 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. A home run, we've heard it a couple of times this morning, into the Allegheny River for Victor Scott II. He crushed one, and so did Nolan Gorman.
A swing, and there it goes down the right field line. A Nolan Gorman home run on the first pitch thrown by Braxton Ashcraft in the 2nd.
And that may have been into the Allegheny. That's how good he hit it. I would be surprised if it's not.
4th of the season for Gorman. You know, as much as we rave about Alec Burleson, who is one of the best hitters on this team and has 20 RBIs, Gorman now has 18. And Walker, who has had that phenomenal month, he has 19. Nolan Gorman's right in there as the Cardinals get themselves a win. Gorman's batting average jumps up to 221. He's got to pick that up. but the run-producing Cardinals get it done. 11-7 over the Pirates, and they'll take them on tonight, weather permitting. 5:40 start in Pittsburgh. Stanley Cup playoffs, it was a win for the Minnesota Wild at Dallas, 4-2 to take a 3-2 series lead. Edmonton won at home last night, 4-1 over Anaheim. They are down 3-2 in that series. Boston stops Buffalo from advancing. It's now a 3-2 Buffalo lead over the Bruins after a 2-1 overtime victory last night. NBA, San Antonio advances. The Knicks go up 3-2, and the Celtics still up 3-2, but the Sixers get them at home. 113.97. I'm Tom Ackerman on the home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM KMOX.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-909-9696. 800-909-9696.
My name is Christine, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, was a healthy 34-year-old, and 3 months later, he was gone. Thankfully, he had life insurance. Ethos made it so easy. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. 100% online, no medical exam. Life insurance didn't take away the loss, but it did give us the space to just grieve.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. Ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Now the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20 and we've got sunshine. It's a breezy morning. If you're just heading out the door, let's get you the latest from Roger Brand and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, if you're traveling up northbound 55, Debbie, still the usual slow traffic there, just north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. The right lane's a little busy at Butler Hill. Bumper to bumper from the Union Road overpass to Weber remains busy all the way up through Virginia. Southbound 4500 Broadway Bates area is kind of heavy. Northbound 270 ramping on from 55 jam midway up to Tesson Ferry, and then after that it's slow to about Gravois, Big Bend up toward Manchester, and a little heavy as you approach 64. Southbound 270 south of Olive do kind of slow. Eastbound Highway 30, heavy traffic from West Watson, more of a jam east of Mauer up the hill at 270. Northbound 141 Hawkins up to 44, that's on the brakes. Southbound 61 midway down from P to Wentzville Parkway into 64 to the Boulevard, some heavy traffic between Clarkson and Timberlake. Westbound 64 the city limits is a little busy. Eastbound 70 Wentzville Parkway into Highway Z and around TR Hughes, a couple of slow spots. And on the Illinois side, 64 west of 50 through 159 is backed up, and then it's slow approaching Route 3 to the Poplar. Next update is 7:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Summer's here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says we're going to have a nice, cool day today. Breezy, cool, sunshine mixing with some clouds, high 64. Tonight, clear and chilly, low 44. Tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy and a high of 65 degrees. It's 51 right now.
The news continues at 7:22. After 4 months of a complete remodel, Schnucks is ready to celebrate the new Schnucks at Ladue Crossing with a customer appreciation event this weekend. There's a ribbon cutting at noon on Friday and a taste and toast open house. Saturday is a family fun and sample day. Sunday, there's a tasting event. The remodel includes a renovated deli, new flooring, shelving and lighting, new checkouts, and an updated floral department.
Hey, really good things happening with construction employment in St. Louis, but that job growth is at risk if Congress fails to do its part.
That is Brian Tremail, the national spokesman for Associated General Contractors of America. They will be at Forest Park this morning to take the lid off the new construction jobs that are coming to the area. And while the construction market in St. Louis is good now, Tremail says there's a likelihood those jobs could disappear because of Congress's failure to do their part with federal funding.
What people need to understand about construction jobs, I mean, yeah, it's great if you're interested in a career in construction, and we would encourage young men and women to pursue a career in construction. I don't think people understand how good these jobs are. Construction pays on average more than 18% more than the average job in the United States. Most of the career tracks in construction don't require a four-year college degree and all the debt that comes with it.
Tremail says having contractors being paid well bodes well for the community economically.
Not just for people working construction, for the broader economy. The more people have these jobs, they're going to go out and buy a new truck. They're going to buy a jet ski for the weekend. They're going to invest in housing. They're going to take the family out to dinner on Saturday, and those are the kinds of economic advancements that we need to protect.
The expansion of an agriculture tech company is bringing 40 new jobs to Hazelwood and Creve Coeur. Pivot Bio announcing 2 new facilities in the St. Louis region. That comes as the company continues focusing its presence in the Midwest after moving its headquarters from California to Minnesota last year.
Governor Mike Kehoe details how both the state and the city of St. Louis have become a hub for the nation's agricultural technology.
Not only are we the heartland, where we are producing and feeding and clothing the world with $93 billion agriculture economy has on Missouri's economy. We're number 2 in the United States at 87,000 family-owned farms. I mean, if you think about agriculture from row crop to livestock, it's happening right here.
Kansas City and St. Louis gearing up for the USDA's plans to move jobs to Missouri. And what does it take to stay relevant in your career? KMOX discussing that with Mary Olson Menzel, an executive leadership coach and author. She says there are some skill sets that never go out of style
and continue to be evergreen are really around your people leader skills, around being an empathetic, creative leader. All of those human attributes that we have are the things that AI can't take away from us, but we also have to understand that we need to be able to utilize and use technology to the best of our abilities and understand it so that we can lead at every level and every generation.
If you are looking to do a job pivot, Olson Menzel says it's important to get clear about where you are today and where you want to go.
Really understanding what's driving you, what's lighting you up. There's this thing in the book that it's a Japanese word called ikigai. And it is all around, translated to English, it's your reason for being. And it's this beautiful Venn diagram of what you're good at, what you love to do, what the world needs, and what you can get paid for. And so if you can start to think about your next step in your career or, pivoting into whatever might be next to light you up, you really can think about ikigai, right? What are the talents and the skills that I'm bringing to the table? What do I love to do? But also, where's the gaps? Where can I actually fill a need in the world? And then can I get paid for it?
You can find the entire interview on the KMOX podcast page.
727 time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
My family has been working with the Laterman Law Firm for over 20 years. This is Tom Ackerman. Something people don't realize about estate planning, the documents alone aren't enough. One of the things I really appreciate about Laterman Law Firm is I didn't just work with one person. I worked with a team, a true team, from the lawyers to the paralegals to the legal assistants. Everyone knows our plan. Everyone is working towards the same goal. You never feel like you're being handed off and forgotten. And a major part of that is their dedicated funding team at Laterman Law Firm. They help make sure that your assets and your beneficiaries are actually lined up with your plan, your accounts, your property, all of it working together the way it is supposed to. They walk you through that process asset by asset, and we really appreciate that. The verifying the ownership and beneficiary of each asset in writing, and then for a fixed annual fee, they will help keep it updated as your life and assets change. We trust them, and you should too. The Laderman Law Firm, ladermanlaw.com, or call 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We asked parents to share their journey of adopting teens.
They changed who I am because I can't see life without them in it.
Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
I'm fixing to tell you something that the insurance industry does not want you to ever hear. Bullies often delay and deny. I see them sitting on premiums paid and making money and dragging it out for as long as they can. Many times, we're forced to take them to court. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Their high-paid lobbyists are on a mission to make sure that at trial, jurors are not allowed to learn that the at-fault party has insurance, and in some cases, lots of it. I can think of no case in all my years where there was no insurance for the at-fault party. So let's fight back. It's all these bullies understand. Tell everybody you know the truth. If you've been injured in a car crash or hurt at a store or business, visit forthepeople.com. We're here 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Make Cinco de Mayo delicious with Easy Cater, the easiest way to order food from favorite restaurants for all your celebrations. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. Whether you're looking for traditional favorites like tacos and tortas, festive options like a build your own nacho bar, or hosting a breakfast fiesta with huevos rancheros and breakfast burritos, Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
It is 7:30, and right now it's 52 degrees with sunshine downtown. I'm Debbie Monterrey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Let's check in with Roger Brand of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we still got the slow going on northbound 55 north of Richardson up to the Merrimack. The right lanes are bogged down. Butler Hill up to that North 270 exit. It's jammed ramping on to North 270. But if you're sticking with 55, there's actually a slowdown up the hill to Rivas. It's backed up Union Road overpass up through Weber, and then slow up through past Virginia. Southbound 55 at Bates, a little bit of a backup. North 270 just generally slow most of the way from 55 up to about Manchester. After that, it's not as bad up through 64. Southbound 270, Olive de Ladue is heavy. Southbound 61, stop and go pockets from Highway P onto 64, the Boulevard. Eastbound 70 coming into Wentzville Parkway is heavy. After that, it's a pretty good run, just a little busy at 5th Street. If you're on 64 coming in, once you get past the Boulevard, you've got slow traffic through the Chesterfield Parkways, a little busy east of Lindbergh and at the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Science Center headed out to Hanley's getting a little more crowded. And on the Illinois side, westbound 64 stop and go pockets, 50 through 159, and then it's slow from the 70 split across the Poplar. Next update is 740 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Plenty of sunshine and no rain in this forecast until maybe late on Sunday. Sun and clouds today with a high of 64, 65 tomorrow, Friday, a little cooler, high 61. Currently in downtown St. Louis, it's sunny and 52.
The National Weather Service confirms 2 tornadoes earlier this week, but survey teams are still in the field investigating whether a third touchdown.
The National Weather Service confirms 2 tornadoes from Monday night's storms, an EF1 near Germantown and Clinton County, and a stronger EF2 that tracked through parts of St. Clair County toward the Trenton area. But survey teams are still in the field, now looking at damage north of St. Jacob in Madison County that could point toward a third twister. Meteorologist Alex Elmore says figuring that out takes more than just eyeballing the wreckage.
We have to compare the damage to radar imagery to see exactly when it happened, or if some of the damage, oftentimes when we have tornadoes, there could be a swath of straight line wind damage on the south side of the tornado's track. So we have to determine what may have been tornadic winds and then what may have been more straight line winds.
Elmore says that the Madison County damage is confirmed as tornadic. It would have happened during the afternoon, well before the 2 evening tornadoes. Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The city's top financial officer is withholding her support for the proposed St. Louis city budget. Controller Donna Behringer abstained from Tuesday's vote at the Board of Estimate and Apportionment. The spending plan includes millions of dollars for new social services, including a $2 million allocation for the Code Blue Winter Shelter Program.
Behringer says she supports the programs themselves, but she refuses to sign off on the budget because it lacks a sustainable long-term financial plan to pay for them in the future.
The reason it gives me pause is because I was here in 2008 when we had to furlough all the city employees. And I absolutely don't want to see that happen again. I want us to plan for sustainability for all these projects like Code Blue that are doing great things for our city. But I have to make sure that we don't make that mistake again.
Behringer says she expects the Board of Aldermen to address her concerns before a final vote is taken.
A flood warning has been issued along the Mississippi River from Quincy to Cape Girardeau. The National Weather Service issuing the warning last night that it's expected to last until Sunday afternoon, the peak of flooding expected on Friday. The agency advises drivers to turn around, don't drown if encountering flooded roads, as most flood deaths occur in vehicles.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Your Money Minute is next.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show. It's not the same old talk. It's fresh, it's different, and it's local. Chris and Amy dig into the news that matters, but they also keep it light, keep it fun, and keep you smiling. Serious when it needs to be, silly when it can be. That's pure entertainment with a local heartbeat. The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays at 9 on the Voice of St. Louis, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
It is now 7:35. We'll get you traffic and weather here in less than 5 minutes, so stick around. Right now, it's your money report from Bloomberg, and it's sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Starbucks is winning over folks with cushier seats and speedier service. The coffee chain reported better than expected quarterly results and says it now sees comparable sales rising at least 5% this year, up from its previous view of 3% or more. Wall Street gearing up for earnings from four of the biggest companies in the country. Google parent Alphabet, Microsoft, Amazon, and Meta all deliver earnings after the closing bell today. These companies have pushed the S&P 500 to record after record in the past few weeks. Ahead of that, stock futures are little changed. And consumer goods giant Kimberly-Clark became the latest American company to call out the potential for a significant cost impact if prices stay about $100 a barrel. The maker of Kleenex and Huggies diapers expects additional expenses of as much as $170 million if crude stays at that level through the second half of the year. This report is sponsored by Fidelity. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hi, this is Steve Butts from the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. In 2026, our agency celebrates a momentous occasion as we celebrate 65 years of service to our clients, a tribute to our founder and my dad, Nor Butts. Our staff is ready to assist you with all your insurance needs. So please call me, Steve Butts, at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com. For auto, home, and commercial insurance needs, that's crawfordbutts.com.
Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. If you need a new garage door, this is your lucky day. In fact, you only have 2 more lucky days because the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis's website, overheaddoorstlouis.com, has a deadline, and the deadline is the end of this month, which is tomorrow. So you have until tomorrow to enter. Entries are open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. I see that Overhead Door Company of St. Louis brand everywhere. And if you have a garage door from them, good for you. If you don't, it's okay. You can get it tuned up by them. They'll tune up any brand. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis does that. The best technicians in the business, 100 years strong. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Don't forget about that $5,000 sweepstakes. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. Can't win if you don't enter. At overheaddoorstlouis.com.
Spring cleaning rule number 1, out with the old, in with the new. And frankly, your family's old internet connection is a dinosaur. Upgrade to the 1 gig modern family standard from i3 Broadband. It's 100% true in-home fiber with equal upload and download speeds, so your teenager's gaming won't crash your video call. Even better, we're currently offering our longest price guarantees ever on our gig speed internet services. Say goodbye to exploding promo prices and hello to budget certainty. Visit i3broadband.com/radio and start your spring off right.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
I'm Dave Glover and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Tonight, the Cards, the Pirates.
Cameron Total Access 445. First pitch 540.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 7:40, and it's time for us to get you a check of the roadways and the weather. We're going to see the sunshine for like 4 or 5 days in a row. Should be something special. We'll get more details on that from Joe Lundberg in just a minute. But here is Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center with the latest on your ride in.
Well, maybe my lawn will finally dry out and I can mow it. It's looking pretty sad right now with all this rain.
Oh my gosh, but the grass is like 10 feet long now.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's growing rapidly.
Growing like a weed, unfortunately, yes. This traffic reports the service of Missouri History Museum's Route 66 Centennial Festival, April 30th through May 3rd, northbound 55, north of Richardson up to the Merrimack, slow, south of Butler Hill up to 270. The right lanes are heavy pockets of stop-and-go traffic from Union Road all the way up through Virginia, southbound through Bates is backed up. North 270 as you get on from 55 through Gravois, slow. Bunches up a couple of spots, 44 to Big Bend up through Manchester. Then it starts to clear out a bit. South 270, 364 down to Ladou's heavy. Southbound 61, Highway P down onto 64. The Boulevard's busy. East of Boone's Crossing through Clarkson, east of Lindbergh, a couple of pockets. It's pretty solid, though. McKnight through Hanley. Westbound 64 approaching Hampton to Hanley. Delays. South 170 busy at the Parkway. Eastbound 70, David Hoagland to Wentzville Parkway slow. East of 94 into 270. South 270 near the Rock Road report of an injury crash. A little back up there. Westbound 6450 to 159 and the 70 split to the Poplars crowded. Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, kids crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival. Next update is 7:50 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg, and this rain is behind us, isn't it?
It is. In fact, the next chance of rain is really a late-day shower Sunday night from a weak disturbance moving through. But no organized systems will bring us rain or thunderstorms or severe weather in the days ahead. So, yes, lawns get a chance to finally dry out after this monsoon-like month of April with all the rain that we've had. Sunshine today mixed with clouds. The breeze will pick up, and a drier air mass will start to accentuate that drying process. Our high 64. Tonight turns out mainly clear, 44. More sun than clouds tomorrow, 65. A cool day Friday with sun and clouds and a high of 61. About the same on Saturday. Sunshine mixed with cloud, a little bit warmer Sunday up to 74. But again, there could be that shower toward day's end. 49 at St. Peter's, 50 in Florissant, mostly sunny, 53 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right. Thanks, Joe. It is 7:42. King Charles made history in Washington, D.C. during his state visit, becoming the first British king to address Congress. His speech came at a time of strained relationships between the United Kingdom and the United States. Last night, President Trump hosted a state dinner honoring the longtime partnership. We get more from CBS White House correspondent Nancy Cordes.
The king and the president are old chums. In fact, Trump joked yesterday that his mother had been partial to the prince.
I also remember her saying very clearly, Charles, look, young Charles, he's so cute. My mother. My mother had a crush on Charles. Can you believe it?
The Trump administration is mandating enhanced security checks for many immigration applicants.
CBS News has obtained internal government documents outlining the changes. U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has instructed its officers to resubmit pending applications for asylum, green cards, and U.S. citizenship to enhanced FBI background checks. President Trump signed an executive order in February to have the FBI provide USCIS access to its criminal history database to identify foreign nationals with criminal records. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Gas prices are climbing again, with the national average now above $4 a gallon as the war in the Middle East continues to disrupt global supply. Experts warn the impact could go beyond the pump, potentially driving up the cost of travel, food, and other goods. We get more from CBS Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
$4.18. That's what gas is here. Even though there are some ships that are going through the strait, it's not much. And it's still really, we're dealing with that supply constriction of oil.
The NCAA says it is still deliberating expanding March Madness to 76 teams for next season.
More madness.
Mullins tosses it up.
The NCAA released a statement in the wake of an ESPN report that cited unnamed sources, saying a decision to add 8 teams to the men's and women's brackets is a mere formality that's expected next month. Sources later confirmed the possible expansion to CBS Sports, one saying there's a very, very small chance that the expansion plan could be reversed. The new format would reportedly add 8 more at-large teams and take 8 more teams out of the main bracket for play-in games. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. Last night in Pittsburgh, the Cardinals put up some crooked numbers. 2 in the third, 3 in the fifth, 3 in the seventh, 2 in the eighth, on the way to an 11-7 win over the Pirates.
Really good offense for the Cardinals. They scored a season-high 11 runs. They did it on 12 hits. Kyle Leahy got the start. He was really solid through 5 innings, tying his career high in strikeouts at 7. He faltered in the next inning, but the Cardinals were able to keep that score in their favor throughout the rest of the game.
3 RBIs for Alec Burleson, 3 for Jordan Walker, 3 for Nolan Gorman, and a home run by Victor Scott.
Victor Scott's home run actually went into the Allegheny, the first time a Cardinal has done that in quite some time.
The win goes to Kyle Leahy's 3-3, beating Braxton Ashcraft 1-2. The Cardinals have won the first 2 games in the series. They try to make it 3 in a row against Bubba Chandler with Andre Palante on the mound. We're on the air at 4:45 Central.
To the field we go. Danny Wexelman of Cardinals TV with Victor Scott II.
I saw your reaction after your home run. What was going on in your mind?
It's a good way to break out of something, man. That's what it feels like to catch a barrel. So, that just felt really good, and just all the prayers and all the blessings. I can't do anything but thank God. So.
You've been working on your offense and in that box. What are things you've been focused on?
Just a more profound approach, just releasing the barrel. Hitting line drives to shortstop is good in theory, but when you don't get that barrel out there, it's a little tough. So I just try to release the barrel and keep working hard.
Your ball went into the Allegheny. You got a splash home run. Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah. That was for my dad. I know he's probably watching this, my dad and my mom, but my dad's from Pittsburgh, so he went to Allegheny High School. So to hit one in that river, that one's for you, Dad. I know you're looking at this. That one's for you, Pops.
You and I talked in spring about how impactful both of your parents have been, but your dad in particular, and the work that you guys have put in together. When you have a moment like that, is it extra special?
Yeah, I mean, especially to be here. This is my dad's stomping ground, so to have that kind of moment here and all the work that he's helped me kind of put in, I mean, that's something that's really special to me and really special to him.
You know, your college team was here in West Virginia. Randy Mazey, who is a part of the staff there, Steve Sabins, who's there now. You know, you and JJ playing together, but there was a lot of love and support for you guys here this week in Pittsburgh. You feel it?
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, Morgantown's an hour and 15 minutes away, so to feel that love and support and hear the Let's Go's and Mountaineers, I mean, I can't do anything but thank them and thank them for showing up.
Well, we thank you for your time, Vic.
Got it. Thank you.
Cardinals with the win, 11-7 over the Pirates. And again, it's a 5:40 start tonight on KMOX from Pittsburgh. Alex Cora, who was recently fired by the Red Sox, was offered a managerial position by the Phillies. Phillies president of baseball operations, Dave Dombrowski, reached out to Cora, but he declined for family reasons. The Phillies then appointed Don Mattingly as interim manager after firing Rob Thompson on Tuesday, and the Phillies won their first game under Mattingly yesterday. They are trying to get out of the cellar in the NL East. They're tied with the Mets for the worst record in the National League, if you can believe that. Two of the top 5 payroll teams in baseball, but the Phillies did beat the Giants yesterday 7-0. Ins and Outs sponsored by Innsbruck Resort, where every day is the weekend. This would be a great fishing day at Innsbruck. The fish love it after a rain. It stirs up all that down in there and underneath those lakes, and they get after it. That becomes a feeding frenzy for many of them. Boy, we caught a catfish. Audrey caught the catfish last year. It was a monster. I should put that picture out there for you to see it. It was a big one. She said, that's the biggest fish I've ever caught. I said, I think that's the biggest fish I've ever caught here at Innsbruck or anywhere else in a lake. It was a big one. There are fun times to be had with the family at Innsbruck. Innsbruck-resort.com. Not just fishing. They have an 18-hole golf course. They have a pool and actually building a second one to open this summer that is going to be phenomenal. They have shopping. They have dining. They have hiking. They have those 100-plus lakes and 7,500 acres to explore. They are Innsbruck, Innsbruck-resort.com. Let's go to our parlay of the day. It's sponsored by Circa Sports. Sports betting the way it should be. I'm looking at the Stanley Cup playoffs for today. Montreal at Tampa Bay. The Lightning minus 166, it looks like. I'd probably say they're going to take care of business there, but I kind of like Montreal money line there. I don't know, just the way that they're been battling in this series. Kind of feel like this thing's going to go 7. Pittsburgh at Philadelphia. I do think this is when Philly puts them away, so I'd go with the Flyers there, regardless of what money line is there. Utah at Vegas. Vegas is going to be a big favorite there, and I would agree there, as they'll probably take that 3-2 series lead tonight. That is our Circa Sports parlay of the day.
Hey, Missouri, it's game time. Start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Derek Stevens. I'm a lifelong sports bettor, and I'm the owner of Circa Sports. It's sports betting the way it should be, with high limits, player-friendly pricing, exceptional customer service, and more. Download your new bookie at circasports.com. The action starts now, Missouri. Experience the difference with Circa Sports. Bet like a pro.
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready to laugh out loud, St. Louis. The outrageous Broadway hit Spam-A-Lot is riding into the fabulous Fox Theater May 5th through the 17th. From the twisted minds of Monty Python, this Tony Award-winning musical brings you killer rabbits, dancing knights, and non-stop hilarity. It's the legend of King Arthur like you've never seen it before. More information can be found at KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:52. Here's Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, a few delays on the secondaries we haven't touched on, Debbie. They're clearing a crash southbound 94 at Seton Top. Traffic's jammed back past O'Fallon Road. Northbound 141 still backed up Hawkins up to 44. Eastbound Manchester, it looks like an incident at 141. Eastbound Manchester's jammed just east of Reese Road. A lot of heavy traffic on Clarkson coming up south of Wilson, headed through Baxter as well. As far as highways, the usual delays on 70 coming in through TR Hughes, 94 into Earth City, southbound 61 south of P, on to 64 slow. Again, it's Boone's Crossing up to about Clarkson. And then there's heavy pockets from Lindbergh through the Innerbelt, westbound 64, Science Center to Hanley's heavy, south 170, bogs down at Olive, south 270, 364 down to Ladou's heavy, north 270 as you ramp on from 55 all the way to Ladue. That's slow. Northbound 55 still heavy north of Richardson to the Merrimack. The right lanes through Butler Hill. A jam from just north of Union up the river to Paris, still slow past Virginia. And westbound 6450 through 159, and then west of 3rd Street, slow across the Poplar. Next update is 7:58 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says sunny mixed with clouds, breezy, cool this afternoon, high 64, chilly tonight, low 44. Tomorrow, sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 65 degrees. Currently, we have sun, some clouds, and 53 downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:53, and now in Missouri, May is dedicated to beef. Yesterday, the Department of Agriculture announced that May is Beef Month. That move comes as an ode to Missouri cattle farmers, with the department noting that beef production in Missouri supports more than 40,000 jobs. Missouri also houses the third highest number of beef cows in the country.
Plant-based proteins could fuel American farms this season. Heather Schlitz covers commodity markets and agriculture for Reuters. Schlitz says peas, lentils, and chickpeas are in high demand from food companies, but she adds it's anyone's guess how long the protein craze will last.
A lot of researchers told me that the average person in the U.S. already eats more than enough protein than they need to. And that this, it could be kind of a trend like any other trend on TikTok or on social media. So it could very well peter out just like a lot of other health and diet trends do.
For now, some farmers are switching from crops like wheat that are losing them money to higher protein crops, which are turning a profit.
Tick bites are sending more people to the emergency room than usual across the country, and health officials are urging you not to wait.
The CDC says ER visits for tick bites are at their highest levels for this time of the year since 2017 in nearly every region of the country. The agency is sounding the alarm ahead of the Lyme Disease Awareness Month in May, warning that ticks can spread serious illnesses, including Lyme disease, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and alpha-gal syndrome.
Some clinical signs of concern would be an unexplained fever or flu-like symptoms, as well as rashes near the region of the tick bite.
Illinois Department of Public Health epidemiologist Dr. Matthew Leslie says the best protection is prevention. Do tick checks after spending time outdoors. And if you do find a tick, remove it right away.
And that tick can be placed into isopropyl alcohol and submitted to a local health department for identification.
If you develop a rash or fever in the days or weeks after a bite, seek medical care promptly. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
This is KMOX 104.1 FM, 1120 AM, 755. Traffic next.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center, and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss?
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors, 636-441-7470, or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection!
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mira Fiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mira Fiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy 1 room of carpet, get 1 cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Presented by Worldwide Technology, the Biz-5K is back. Produced by the St. Louis Sports Commission, a high-energy corporate race in St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. Thursday, May 7th at Energizer Park. Register your team at STLBizDash.com.
Let's take a look at 758 at the roadways with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, northbound 55 now, Debbie, just a little slow through 141. The right lanes are still bogged down Butler Hill to 270, and it's still stop and go from the Union Road overpass in pockets up through Virginia. Southbound Gasconade down to Bates is kind of congested. North 270, still slow as you ramp on from 55 through Gravois. Approaching 44, it runs all the way up to Ladue. South 270, primarily Olive down to Ladue, the busiest part there. Eastbound 70, David Hochul into Wentzville Parkway. That's still kind of slow at TR Hughes. 94 into Urge City. Busy. Southbound 61 Wentzville Parkway onto 64 to the Boulevard is slow. It's slow from Clarkson to about Timberlake, and from really 270 all the way through Big Bend is heavy. South 170 bogs down at Olive. If you're on westbound 64 Hampton to Hanley, 44 a little busy east of Bowles, and coming through Elm, and then around the bend again, Jameson through Southwest Avenue, and westbound 64 50 through 159 and approaching the Poplars heavy. Next update at 8:10 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
This is Megan Lynch. A college student fighting a data center proposal has now launched a nonprofit to promote transparency and accountability for St. Charles government. I'll introduce you to Scott Stratton Henderson and the stewards of St. Charles after the news.
I'm Tom Ackerman. Missouri lawmakers are close to passing higher speed limits on some Missouri highways. We will tell you what safety experts say.
I'm Debbie Monterrey. You'll also hear from a public health researcher concerned about how tornado season will affect our mental health when the region's still not done rebuilding from last year's storms.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Sunshine and some clouds today. A cool breeze this afternoon, our high 64.
I'll be back for the Gas House Gang today with Bernie Miklas and Chris Ranji. We go at noon. Cardinals are playing well right now. They ripped the Pirates 11-7.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The acting attorney general is defending findings of a federal grand jury that's indicted former FBI Director James Comey for allegedly threatening President Trump.
The charges stem from a photo Comey posted online showing seashells on a beach that spelled out 8647. 86 can mean killing someone. Trump is the 47th president. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche told CBS Mornings,
anybody that tries to put forward some narrative that this is just about seashells or something to the contrary is missing the point. You cannot threaten the president of the United States.
Blanche was asked if President Trump told him to pursue the case.
Absolutely, positively not.
Comey posted a video maintaining his innocence. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
After a busy day in Washington that included a historic speech to Congress and a state dinner at the White House, King Charles and Queen Camilla are moving on to New York, where one of their stops will be the 9/11 memorial.
We stood with you then, and we stand with you now in solemn remembrance of a day that shall never be forgotten.
The king spoke about NATO, noting the alliance came to the U.S. defense after 9/11. British police have arrested a 45-year-old man for attempted murder after 2 people were stabbed in a large Jewish community today. The BBC's Lucy Manning has details from London.
A local Jewish security group who helps to protect the Jewish community in Golders Green called Shomrim were first on the scene. They helped to detain the man who had a knife, and then the police arrived, and locals say the suspect was then tasered.
The victims, a man in his 30s and another in his 70s, are in stable condition. Crews west of Dallas are assessing the damage after a suspected tornado tore through. CBS's Jason Allen is there.
Mineral Wells drone video shows the sheer scale of destruction. The second story of homes completely ripped away, leaving nothing but insulation behind. Other houses a total loss, reduced to a twisted mess of wood frame.
And I saw it all get dark. I'm like, what? And telephone poles were down. It just mangled in front of our house.
Damage reported from severe storms in 8 states from Texas to Missouri. The Federal Reserve is set to announce a decision on interest rates today. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Despite gas prices rising to their highest levels since the war in the Middle East began, the Federal Reserve is likely to keep its benchmark lending rate at a range of 3.5% to 3.75%.
Average price for a gallon of regular gas today, $4.23 a gallon. This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world.
I'm Tony.
There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers.
How are you?
I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
We have sunny skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. Today is Wednesday, April 29th. I'm Megan Lynch. 2,000 Missouri Ameren customers still without power after Monday's storm. Most of the outages in St. Louis County, namely between Breckenridge Hills and North County. On their website, Ameren says they expect the majority of the affected St. Louis County customers to have their power turned back on by the end of today. 2 tornadoes now confirmed in the Metro East following that round of severe thunderstorms. National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Elmore says survey teams are still in the field working to pin down the exact path of each tornado. They're also comparing damage to radar imagery to separate tornadic winds from straight line wind damage.
We're still fine-tuning the exact magnitude of the damage. The Germantown one currently we have rated that an EF1. And then the St. Clair to Clinton County tornado, the one that stretched north of Mascoutah toward Trenton, we currently have a maximum rating of EF2.
A new St. Louis City budget advancing to the Board of Aldermen. It includes a 7% pay raise for police officers mandated by the state-controlled police board a few weeks ago. Finding the money for that raise concerns other city departments would take a hit to balance the ledger. But Mayor Kara Spencer says the final spending plan manages to absorb the police raises without sacrificing basic municipal services.
This budget does a few other things. One, it really balances, the services that we need to keep providing our citizens while recognizing the raises that the police department passed, the police board passed about 6 weeks ago.
Spencer notes the budget fully funds a $4 million increase for derelict building demolition. Former St. Louis Alderman Brandon Bosley headed to federal prison. Bosley sentenced yesterday to 16 months after being convicted in January of wire fraud and lying to the FBI. The scheme centered on his Toyota Prius. Investigators say Bosley pressured an auto shop owner to inflate repair estimates so the car would be totaled, netting him nearly $8,000 from the insurance company. Prosecutors had pushed for more than 16 months. The Lincoln County prosecutor has agreed not to seek the death penalty against Pam Hupp. In exchange, Hupp has agreed to a bench trial in the killing of Betsy Faria back in 2011. Faria was stabbed more than 50 times. Her husband, Russ Faria, initially arrested and convicted of killing his wife. The conviction was overturned. Betsy Faria changed the beneficiary on her life insurance to Pam Hupp. Drone, the latest effort to enhance emergency response from St. Charles County Police.
But Police Chief Kurt Frizz says the county already has a robust drone operation.
This is kind of the next evolution of drone operations for law enforcement. It's a drone as first responder. So these will be at fixed base stations. We're partnering with school districts and some businesses, and they will be piloted out of the Regional Information Intelligence Center out of St. Louis County.
Frizz tells the Chris and Amy Show any type of crime in progress, accident, even natural disasters, a drone could be launched, get over the scene, and start talking to officers even before they are on the scene. This gives first responders an advantage of the situation they are responding to. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Six Flags St. Louis new owners tightening up the rules.
Any guest 16 or younger found without a chaperone starting this Friday will be subject to immediate ejection without a refund. The updated code of conduct also explicitly bans any face coverings that conceal a guest's identity. That includes so-called shiesty masks and neck gaiters and hoods with front zippers. All of these changes come after the reports from opening Saturday of masked teens threatening park patrons before a massive fight broke out, and after Enchanted Park CEO James Harhide told KMOX this.
We all have to be respectful. And I just hope everybody will be respectful. And if they're not, we'll be showing them out the door. And then if that policy doesn't work, then we'll be more strict on the other items as we go forward.
Park public safety personnel are also utilizing surveillance and body-worn cameras to monitor the midways throughout the season.
We have a very limited set of patience when it comes to unruly behavior.
Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, Gentry's Landing is for sale. The apartment high-rise on 4th Street by the Arch was built in 1965 as part of the 8-building Mansion House complex. The asking price for the 28-story, 416-unit property, $53 million. We'll check traffic and weather together in 2 minutes. It's 8:08.
Looking to build your dream home? Lombardo Homes is known for quality, luxury, and thoughtful design in some of the area's most desirable communities. And for a limited time this April, we're offering something we rarely do. Exclusive incentives designed to help you get more from your new home. From a free finished recreation room to premium kitchen and cabinet upgrades to flexible perks like design credits or closing cost savings, there's an opportunity waiting for you. But these offers are available in select communities and only for a short time. Visit LombardoHomes.com or stop by a sales office today.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Coming up on Total Information AM, I'm going to tell you about a new community group that intends to hold officials accountable and create some positive dialogue in the city of St. Charles, and it's run by a college student, so stay with us. First, though, let's get a check of the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we have a crash with lane blockage on westbound 5570 just before you get to 64 on the Illinois side. Traffic's jammed about midway between 111 and 203 right now because of that. So just be advised, you're going to be stuck in traffic there. They're hopefully they get it clear. I can't tell what lane is blocked there right now. Westbound 64 from 50 through 159, almost midway to 157 is a little heavy. If you're coming in on eastbound Highway 70, still some slow stuff around David Hokel Parkway and 5th Street. Not that bad running there. Southbound 61, just crossing over onto 64 to the Boulevard is slow. 270 all the way in through Big Bend's heavy. South 170 bogs down at Olive. Westbound 64 Hampton to Hanley delays. Northbound 270, still pockets from 55 all the way up through to 64 to Ladue. Eastbound 44 doesn't look bad now. Northbound 55 just primarily delays from Union up through Virginia, and southbound Gasconade Bates area is a little heavy. Next update at 8:20 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Sunshine today, mixing with clouds at times. It'll be breezy and cool this afternoon, high 64. Becoming mainly clear tonight and quite chilly, though, 44. Sunny to partly cloudy tomorrow, high 65. Partly sunny and cool Friday, high only 61. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Just Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMX.
Sunny skies this morning, 52 degrees in Florissant, 51 in St. Peter's, and 55 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. A new civic group has emerged in St. Charles. The nonprofit launched by a college student who's asking for professional communication with city leaders. Instead of activism, he wants it to be a vehicle for bringing practical solutions. Stewards of St. Charles was founded by Scott Stratton Henderson.
I started it because there's a need for something like this. This goes back to kind of the data center thing last year in St. Charles. That was a huge hot issue. We had a few things there with the whole transparency thing, and it just seems as though there's issues that keep popping up within the city, and so I feel as though that citizens kind of need an extra group to represent them, but also provide positive things to the community and work with city council and the mayor on certain legislation and that sort of thing.
I have to note that you seem younger than a lot of people that get involved in civic matters. What was it about all this that pulled you in? Was it the data center issue?
The data center issue is kind of what threw me into local politics and civic engagement. So I started the change.org petition against the data center, and that ended up getting like 8,000 signatures by the time it was all said and done. And that really just kind of led to a more organized community effort, more of a grassroots campaign to do, like yard signs and everything like that, have people come and speak out against the data center. And, that led to the 1-year moratorium and hopefully here soon a ban at the May 5th meeting. We're going to have a public hearing on that. And so, but it was that issue that originally got me started. And then ever since then, I've kind of just learned to pay attention. And the more and more I pay attention, the more I realize that we need a little bit more of an effort as a community to work with the council and the mayor on certain things.
I'm wondering if you had, at the beginning of that, some preconceived notions about how the government ran, how you got information as citizens, and if that's changed at all over the course of this process.
Well, for me, I think the biggest thing was, the closed sessions. I think that was something for me that during the data center thing with the whole non-disclosure agreements, I think that was one of the things that stuck with me the most. And so that's kind of what our bigger and overall goal here is to promote transparency and accountability and civic engagement. It's public information.
I noticed you mentioned in, I believe it was the description of the group on Facebook, this concept of professional communication.
Yeah.
Talk about why that is so important.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to be as another loud activist group. We want to be an organization that is kind of different from everybody else. We want to, of course, raising public awareness, that is, of course, going to be important in our efforts. But we want to do is we want to provide actual solutions. We want to be a part of problem solving. We want to have that communication line open with the councils. We don't want to burn bridges. We want to work with them, and we want to we want to promote legislation that is actually going to solve those problems, as opposed to just, sitting there and complaining about it, for lack of better words.
By opening that type of dialogue, what kind of response do you feel like you have gotten from officials?
Yeah, so I know personally we're still in the starting stages of the organization, but I personally have a pretty good relationship with quite a few of the council members. So, I don't expect it to be anything hostile or like that. I think they'll be pretty open to discussion. We've got a lot of good people on that council, so I don't think there'll be any problems there at all.
Has anybody asked you to run for office yourself?
Well, I've gotten the question a couple of times, but I think right now, I'm focused on finishing college and, maybe public office one day. Maybe if I feel as though I could be more effective that way, sure. But, I'm focused on getting stuff like this up and going first.
How do you have the time while you're in college?
I ask myself that pretty often. So, yeah, it's one of my It's one of my ventures, I like to call one of my projects. I have a business too, a part-time job, girlfriend, so I understand it. It gets pretty busy, but I like to do it. It keeps me motivated to do good for the community.
I think that's probably a challenge for a lot of people in our busy lives is figuring out, okay, how are we going to monitor what our governments are
Right.
doing?
Yeah.
What have you learned about that process that maybe you could share with our listeners?
A lot of people don't know about how many resources are out there these days. So I know a lot of people think they can't be as engaged or involved if they don't go to every single planning and zoning meeting or they don't go to every single city council meeting. But the reality is, at least in our city, we've got a few council members that do a really good job of posting updates. We've got we've got a what's going on in St. Charles page. That's huge, 109,000 people in there. We've got a whole separate page dedicated to the city politics and government going on. So resources like that, social media, of course, you don't want to take everything that's said in there for granted. You need to do your own independent research, but that's a huge resource you can use. And I know in St. Charles we have the STC Now app, and so you can go in and watch any planning and zoning meeting or city council meeting. Say you don't have the time out of your day to actually go and show up. Well, you can either listen to a live stream or you can listen to the recording at a different time. So
Are there any issues now that you're watching closely after having followed the data center issue?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. So the data center issue, that is not quite over with. The Planning and Zoning Commission just voted in favor of what would be a quote unquote ban. It's really just a text amendment that gives the data center its own definition as opposed to a warehouse, but it's also, it would not permit any kind of zoning for data centers in the city of St. Charles. And so that passed 7-3. So now it's up to the council to put that into law, make it an ordinance. So that's definitely an issue that I am looking at, and what a lot of board members are looking at as well. I know lately we have the ACF building. That was another big issue. They were wanting to find the ACF building 90 there in Frenchtown. They're trying to claim it as economically infeasible and technologically infeasible. So they were going to have a demolition and put up a lot of luxury apartments. And so people were watching that issue very closely. And that's something, as part of preserving long-term history, character of the city, that's something we were watching closely. And thankfully, the council, they voted to appeal that decision from the Landmarks Board, and they voted once again to uphold that appeal. So I know there's a lawsuit going on now with that, so we'll just kind of be monitoring it for sure. But those are an example of a couple different issues going on.
What makes you so passionate about your community?
It's my future at the end of the day. I get to I'm a part of the younger generation. We get to decide what our future looks like. So, St. Charles is a phenomenal place to live. Top 100 was voted on best places to live in the United States. So that's something that I would like to see be upheld. Keep it a wonderful place to live. I've been here my whole life, so I have some home bias, but I would like to keep living here.
That's Scott Stratton Henderson, founder and president of Stewards of St. Charles. And you can find Stewards of St. Charles on Facebook. Stratton Henderson says a website is coming soon. Coming up, what will the Federal Reserve do with interest rates today? Stephen Cates of Bankrate is going to join me next. First, though, we need to get a check of the roads on this Wednesday morning, see how things are moving. Roger Brand has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Megan, we still have our jam on the Illinois side on westbound 5570. This traffic reports a service of the Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. That crash IDOT just posted a couple of minutes ago said it's in the left lane. Just past Exchange. So left lane block traffic's jammed west of 111 to that point on westbound 5570. Westbound 6450 through 159 is slow. Southbound 170 Page down to the Parkway. They cleared a crash. It was only out there for a couple of minutes, so it's still heavy. And then Brentwood to 64 still slow. Eastbound 70, a little busy K to TR Hughes. Eastbound 64, looks like we have an incident. Maybe it's just road work, but it is backed up Prospect toward Lake St. Louis Boulevard. Then it opens up. It's a little slow at Clarkson, a little slow east of Mason, and heavy stuff from Lindbergh through the Interbelt. Westbound 64 Hampton to Big Bend is delayed. North 270 kind of bogged down right around Gravois, and it's just basically slow all the way up through 64 Clayton Road, 55 Union Road overpass up through Virginia. Still got a backup eastbound Manchester, Reese up to 141, so there's still an issue there. 141 northbound Hawkins up to 44 is still slow. Next update at 8:30 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, we're going to have a mix of sun and clouds, breezy and cool this afternoon, a high of 44, clear and chilly overnight, a low of 44. Right now, we have 55 degrees under sunny skies downtown at the Arch.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. We're partners committed to you, your business, and your community. From family law to litigation, we're ready to serve. Visit sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Last year, we had 295 trials where we'd been offered a total of $90 million on all those cases. When the dust settled, we had recovered over $1.1 billion in verdicts and mid-trial settlements. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason. We won a lot, $30 billion and counting. The best part of all those wins is that it helps you when you hire us. All those wins allow us to let the insurance company know we mean business. And believe me, they know who we are. If you've been injured, Google Morgan & Morgan results. You're not bragging if it's a fact. 3 million people tried to hire us last year alone. That happened for a reason. Visit forthepeople.com and let's get started this minute. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hair Volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The Federal Reserve is set to announce its third rate decision of the year. It will likely be Jerome Powell's final meeting as chair. Let's get a preview from Bank Rate financial analyst Stephen Cates. Stephen, what kind of signals are you seeing at this point about what the central bank might do about interest rates?
So at this point, it's pretty clear that they're not going to do much of anything, that they're going to hold rates steady, and there's also unlikely to be any change to their plans for the balance sheet, how they're rolling off some of the balance that they have on the books.
Inflation is still not close to the Fed target of 2%.
It is not, no. And even if we strip out what has clearly taken place with gas prices, diesel prices, we still have stubborn inflation. Evidence of that was showing up in January, in February through the personal consumption expenditure index. It's a little bit different than the CPI. It's been higher than the CPI. That's actually what the Fed targets for their preferred measure of inflation. And so there are still some issues. And I know that this feels like it just never ends. We've now had inflation above the 2% benchmark for over 5 years. So the Fed needs to do something. They need to show some credibility that they can fight inflation. And unfortunately, that's the job that they have to do this year.
And I guess in the middle of all this is this likely transition of the chairmanship at this point, Jerome Powell likely facing his final meeting. What's the likely timeline?
It's going to be a tight timeline for Kevin Warsh to get confirmed. It's possible by the May 15th. We can call that a deadline, but there is no meeting until June. So, Jerome Powell's term ends officially on May 15th. If he were to relinquish the chairmanship a week later, 2 weeks later, it isn't going to have a huge impact on the operations of the Federal Reserve. The administration certainly wants Jerome Powell to step down as quickly as possible. The biggest impediment is going to be that the Senate is in session this week, off next week, back in the following week. And so getting everything done, getting this confirmation sort of across the finish line is still going to be a tight timeline over the next few weeks.
Now, Jerome Powell could stay on the Board of Governors for, almost another 2 years?
That is correct. And that is the biggest question for anybody who, watches the Fed. I don't think this is as closely watched as the playoffs, but it is a big question. This is an unusual circumstance that he finds himself in, that the institution itself finds itself in. And it would be unusual for him to stay on. That's just not happened from former chairs. But the fact that he has had so much pressure on him and that there is still the whiff of concern over whether this investigation is going to continue, how it will proceed, if it proceeds at all, and the fact that Lisa Cook, one of the other governors, her case is still before the Supreme Court. So there is speculation that Powell could remain on through the duration of these investigations, however many remain, sort of ongoing, but nobody knows.
That's Bankrate financial analyst Stephen Cates. Still ahead on Total Information AM. Missouri is really close to passing higher speed limits on some of our rural interstates. Safety advocates say it might not be a good idea. We're going to hear more about that coming up at the bottom of the hour. It's 8:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hi, Margaret with Eamon Gantner and Capriano. We all procrastinate. We put things off, confident we'll have time later. Well, one who procrastinates in choosing will inevitably have their choices made for them by circumstance. Could be an illness or even a death. And it happened to me. I was widowed at 41. It could happen to you. If you procrastinate and fail to plan for your future, for your children, circumstances and the courts will make your plans for you without your input. Eamon Gantner and Capriano help thousands of families plan for their future now. We can be your personal attorney too, guiding you with a will, trust, powers of attorney, Medicaid, and VA. You may delay, but time does not. Eamon Gantner and Capriano, yourestateMatters.com.
The choice of an attorney is an important decision and shouldn't be based solely on advertising.
Celebrate Cinco de Mayo with Easy Cater, the best way to order great food from favorite restaurants for all your festivities. From April 27th through May 5th, every order placed earns you 1,000 bonus rewards points. From traditional favorites like enchiladas and mole to festive options like a build-your-own taco bar, even breakfast. Chilaquiles, anyone? Easy Cater makes food for Cinco de Mayo a cinch. Order now at easycater.com and get 1,000 bonus points on every order with promo code Cinco de Mayo 26. Restrictions apply. See offer details.
At Audion Hearing, our mission is simple: to make better hearing affordable for everyone. We're proud to offer high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98. Clear, comfortable, and ready to use right out of the box. And here's a study worth hearing. Research shows that wearing hearing aids can reduce your risk of dementia by up to 61%. Join over 1 million happy customers and hear the difference today by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
The smartest way to do your homework is Hackman Lumber.
Thinking about building a new deck? Start with the deck experts at Hackman Lumber, home of one of the largest inventories of decking materials and accessories in Missouri. From treated lumber and cedar to all the leading names in decking, their experts will help you choose the perfect materials for your dream deck. Then finish it off with endless railing options, balusters, and LED deck lighting to bring your backyard to life. Hackman Lumber will not be undersold on in-stock decking materials, guaranteed. Do it yourself? Their team is ready with expert advice. Need help from a pro? They can connect you with trusted local contractors. Also, check out their expanding paint department with custom color matching. And don't forget, follow Hackman Lumber on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to catch weekly deal specials and project inspiration all season long. Or visit us at hackmanstl.com. Locations in St. Peters, Troy, and Pacific, Missouri.
8:31. Let's check the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Old Halls Ferry and Halls Ferry at the split, Megan, they're sending EMS crews for a crash. This traffic reports service of artistic decks. We still have this crash on the Illinois side, westbound 5570 before 64. It looks like they were getting it cleared. The left lane was blocked. It's still jammed west of 111 to 203, but then it looks like it's opening up. Westbound 64, 50 through 159, that's still heavy. On the Missouri side, westbound 64 Hampton to Big Bend, still slow. Eastbound 64, Still backed up as you come off 61, most of the way to Lake St. Louis Boulevard. I believe it's road work there. It's slow Mason at 270, and again at Lindbergh. If you're on northbound 270, through Gravois, heavy, and then from 44 all the way up to Ladue, it's still busy. 55 Bayless up to River to Pear, and then again Holly Hills, Virginia, southbound, south of Broadway through Bates. There's some slower traffic running through there as well. Next update at 8:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Summer's here. Is your backyard ready? If you missed the spring rush, Artistic Decks can still make it happen. From premium wood to maintenance-free composite, get the quality you deserve. Don't wait. Call Artistic Decks today at 314-280-0821.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, sunshine today, a few clouds, breezy and cool this afternoon, a high 64. Mainly clear and chilly tonight with a low of 44, and then tomorrow sunny to partly cloudy, a high 65. We have sunshine, 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. Missouri lawmakers are close to approving higher speed limits on some highways. Instead of capping speeds at 70 miles per hour like they are now, the measure would allow people to drive 75 miles an hour on rural interstates and freeways. Sponsors say it would bring the state into line with other states and improve traffic flow. Chuck Farmer is vice president of research with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. I asked him what happens when states do raise speed limits.
Well, first thing that happens is people go faster. Anytime we've seen speed limits raised in any of the states over the past 30 or so years, every time we go out and we do measurements on the road, we see people going faster. And the faster you go, more likely you're going to have a serious crash.
So when you say the faster people go, meaning they'll go even beyond that new higher speed limit?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, one of the reasons that you see increases in speed limits is because people are already exceeding the limit that's out there. And what tends to happen is they just bump up to the next comfortable speed for them, which is 5-10 miles an hour above whatever the posted limit is.
One of the arguments for this new law, Chuck, is that there are already neighboring states that have a higher speed limit than Missouri does. So that will align with neighboring states and improve traffic flow in some areas. What would you say about that argument?
I'll admit there are advantages to raising speed limits. Yeah, you can improve traffic flow. You will get to where you're going. If you're going, say, between cities, you'll get there a few minutes earlier. If you're waiting for packages to be delivered, which is a big thing for all of us these days, they might get there a little bit earlier. But along with the advantages, you have to consider if you're going faster, eventually you or some driver is going to make a mistake. And the faster you're going, when you run into a wall or you run into another vehicle, the more likely you could, or somebody could end up dying.
So let's say we have a 5 mile per hour increase in the speed limit. What do we know about how much that might increase, for example, fatalities or crashes?
We did a study, it was about 10 years ago now, that looked at all the speed limit increases over the years from 1995, I think, is when they got rid of the 65 mile an hour speed limit in every state. And pretty much everybody raised their speed limit during that time. And what we saw, just looking at fatality rates in the various states, was for every 5 mile an hour increase, we saw an 8% increase on those roads where they raised the interstates and freeways, and a 3% increase even on the other roads.
When it comes to, for example, the bigger, heavier vehicles and the big semi-trucks, what do we know about their involvement specifically in fatal crashes or other crashes that might be caused by excessive speed?
Yeah, the thing with the big semis is it's hard to stop those things. They're extremely heavy, and so they take a lot longer to stop than your typical small car. And the faster they're going, again, the longer it's going to take, the more distance it's going to take for them to stop, and they're more likely to run into whoever's in front of them.
That's Chuck Farmer with the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The measure's sponsor argues new safety features on vehicles, including automated braking and lane departure warnings, would help mitigate risks from higher speeds. Coming up, your money report here on Total Information AM.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathy Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Your Money Report now, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Talks over a potential $500 million U.S. government bailout deal for Spirit Airlines have reached an impasse. A group of Spirit's lenders are pushing back. Sources tell us the government's rescue financing would force the lenders into a weaker position, cutting into what they could recover if the airline has to liquidate. No comment from Spirit. Traders are watching the Federal Reserve, which wraps up its two-day policy meeting today. Officials are expected to leave interest rates unchanged when the gathering wraps up this afternoon. Ahead of that, Dow and S&P futures are little changed. Yesterday, the S&P 500 fell 0.5% on a sell-off in technology stocks. And shares of GE Healthcare sinking in early trading. The medical technology firm cut its financial outlook. The company that builds machines such as MRIs expects roughly $250 million in additional costs this year, driven by higher prices for memory chips and other items. This report is sponsored by Fidelity. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
It's Tom Ackerman for McKelvey Homes, Missouri's oldest home builder, going back to 1898 and always coming up with new places to build. Folks, Inverness and Darting Prairie and Summerlin and O'Fallon are nearly sold out. I don't want you to miss these. At Summerlin, you have a lake, walking trails, and you're right next to the elementary and middle schools in highly rated Wentzville School District. And at Inverness, $24,000 at Summerlin. Jim Brennan is the president of McKelvey Homes, and he and his team have been building the right way. McKelvey Homes. They sell fast, and you can be in a new home now.
And House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. A top former advisor to Dr. Anthony Fauci facing federal charges. The Justice Department accuses David Morenz of violating public records laws and hiding emails concerning the origins of the COVID pandemic. Starbucks said Tuesday customers are responding to improved service in its stores. They saw better than expected sales in the company's fiscal second quarter. More now on the roads with Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, looks like we got a stall westbound on the Blanchette Bridge right now, Megan. This traffic reports a service of the Missouri History Museum's Route 66 Centennial Festival, April 30th through May 3rd. So just be advised, there's a little heavy stretch there at the west end of the bridge as you're coming through into St. Charles County. Eastbound's is kind of slow right around Earth City. Eastbound 370 through Truman looks a little heavy. Eastbound 64 Lindbergh into Big Bend still slow. South 170 bogged down at Delmar. Westbound 64 Clayton Skinkrock to Hanley still heavy. Westbound 70 from about Adelaide out through the West Florissant area is busy. North 270 still slow most of the way from Gravois up to 44, 55 from about the Union Road overpass all the way up through Holly Hills. There's still heavy traffic. We still have this jam on the Illinois side. Westbound 64, western 111 to 203. Then it's slow through 64, so it looks like they cleared that crash at 203, and 64 westbound still a backup passing Highway 50. Don't miss the Route 66 Festival at the Missouri History Museum, April 30th through May 3rd. Music from Sweetie and the Toothaches, a classic car show, neon display, kids crafts, and more. Schedule at mohistory.org/festival. I'm Roger Brand in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And checking that forecast for today, sunny, clouds, possible, breezy and cool this afternoon. We're expecting a high only around 64 degrees right now, 55 downtown at the Arch. This is Total Information AM on KMOX. Let's go to court. It's time for our weekly conversation with KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris, Young & Kaiser. Good morning, Brad.
Good morning, Megan.
Let's start first with the Supreme Court. They seem pretty divided Monday over whether to block thousands of lawsuits alleging the maker of the weed killer Roundup failed to warn people it could cause cancer. The case before the court was actually one that was filed by a Missouri man. What are the basic facts of this, and what does the court have to grapple with?
This is a big case, not just locally, but nationally, Megan. And what happened here is with Monsanto at the time, now Bayer, says that a federal pesticide law gives the EPA the final word on labeling. And so this Missouri man was injured by using Roundup, and a Missouri jury gave him an award for failure to warn. It was over a $1.25 million verdict, and it was all based on failure to warn. And yet, federal law applies. There's a federal law that covers what these pesticide companies have to say on their labeling. So the plaintiff here is saying it doesn't matter because Missouri law mirrors the federal law, and this particular plaintiff received a verdict under Missouri law. But the problem is, from the court's perspective, if they rule against this man and say, nope, state law doesn't apply because federal law preempts here, then billions of dollars of lawsuits get wiped out. So the court has to wrestle between this idea of, if there's a law in a state that mirrors the federal law, can someone still collect under that state law from a state court verdict?
So, in the end, like, this is about obviously Roundup and the people that allege they were harmed. But overall, could this have broader implications for other corporations and products and the public?
It really does, Megan, and I appreciate that question, because even though there are billions and billions of dollars, I'm not trying to sound like Carl Sagan here, but there are billions of dollars of verdicts across the country. But the even broader implications are when companies are putting labeling, and they've been under this belief that only federal law applies, which doesn't allow for the type of damages that state law allows. Now are companies going to be exposed to state law verdicts that they previously thought weren't available to plaintiffs? So this affects all corporations that affect nationwide.
Let's move on to our next story. Taylor Swift. Yeah, how do we go from Roundup to Taylor Swift, right? Well, she's filed to trademark her voice and likeness. She's not the first celebrity we've seen do this to go the trademark route. What's behind this, Brad?
Well, if anyone has seen any of the reels or videos, there's Taylor Swift that would endorse this or that product, and we all know it's AI. But from her perspective, she's trying to set up a new legal theory, her and Matthew McConaughey not too long ago, to use patent law to patent certain aspects of her voice and her image from being on stage. And the theory here is that she can then use federal trademark law to shut down AI impressions or AI created videos that seem to endorse products or try to sell products that obviously it's not Taylor Swift doing that. And this is a very new legal theory because there just aren't a lot of legal theories out there that would allow people to enforce their image. There's old common law, publicity law, but that doesn't allow for very much in terms of damages and temporary restraining orders and so forth. So this is a new tool to fight AI in the 21st century.
What's interesting about this case, and Brad, we have about a minute left. This doesn't cover like all of her voice or her singing. She's trademarked a couple of things. One, I think, is she says, "Hey, this is Taylor." Another, like, "Hi, this is Taylor Swift." And then one image. I don't understand how that protects her.
Well, it protects her because then it allows her to file suit. And listen, in any legal dispute, Taylor Swift's going to have better lawyers, more well-paid lawyers against these other individuals. And so it gives her a legal argument to stop the AI activity, even if it's not guaranteed to win a trial.
I guess, or even if it's not specifically that thing that she's saying.
Exactly. And it still allows you to drag the AI people into court, at which point in time they can't compete with Taylor Swift's resources. And so she's counting on that as leverage to stop all of the AI activity involving Taylor Swift.
All right. You're going to help me trademark my name and voice?
I'll do that free of charge.
I don't know that AI really wants to copy me, though. But so. All right. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
That is KMOX legal analyst Brad Young, partner at Harris, Young & Kaiser. He joins us every Wednesday morning here on Total Information AM. Well, as you know, we had storms roll through earlier this week. People still haven't rebuilt from May 16th. What is that doing to us mentally? We're going to talk about storm fatigue and concerns that a professor in the School of Public Health at WashU has. That's coming up next.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Beat the spring cleaning rush at Zero Res. This week, buy one room of carpet, get one cleaned for free. Unlimited rooms and whole system air duct cleaning for just $599. Visit ZeroResSTL.com. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Each year in St. Louis, 10 women are recognized for volunteer leadership that changes lives. They support families, strengthen communities, and create opportunities where they're needed most. Join us Tuesday, May 19th at the Ritz-Carlton for the 2026 Women of Achievement Awards Luncheon. Celebrate their impact and be part of a tradition more than 70 years strong. Reservations available at WOASTL.org. For more information, go to KingdomOX.com/events.
Don't miss a baseball showdown at Busch Stadium when Shohei Ohtani and the LA Dodgers roll into the Lou, May 1st through the 3rd. Kick off the weekend with Friday Night Live and a must-have short-sleeve hoodie giveaway. Saturday brings a Mason Wynn bobblehead celebrating his Gold Glove Award. Then Sunday features a sleek blade collar shirt giveaway. Big names, big matchups, and big giveaways all weekend long. Tickets at Cardinals.com/promotion.
This is Mason Wynn. Get your tickets at Cardinals.com.
The 1-2, and that's grounded up the middle. Diving play. Mason Wynn to his feet. He throws. He got him.
What's up, Cardinals fans? Mason Wynn here. On Saturday, May 2nd, when we face the Dodgers, you can take home the Mason Wynn Gold Glove bobblehead presented by the Shane Company. It's got my chain, my first gold glove, my whole look, just how I rock it. Plus, a few rare all-gold baubles will be randomly mixed in for 500 lucky fans. This is one you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now at Cardinals.com/promotion.
I'm Megan Lynch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on KMOX. It has been nearly a year since the May 16th tornadoes that devastated neighborhoods in our region. Many homeowners and businesses aren't even close to rebuilding at this point. And now we're in the midst of another stormy spring. Does it lead to storm fatigue for those residents and even the rest of us in the broader community? Salma Abdallah is an assistant professor in the School of Public Health at Washington University in St. Louis. She previously studied the impact of Hurricane Harvey on residents of Houston.
I have to be completely honest. I am worried about the mental health impact of what we're seeing right now in the fallout with the tornado here last year, but also we're seeing a lot of tornado warnings happening in St. Louis. As you said, we've seen in our research that even 3 years later, when something like Hurricane Harvey happens, we still see that there is about 1 in 10 people or slightly more who have depression or have mental health issues related to the hurricane. So that is 3 years later. So when I look at something like what's happening in St. Louis right now, I worry because we know the mental health impact takes a long time to be addressed, but also at the same time, we know if you don't have quick fixes to the problems people are facing, that most likely exacerbates the mental health issues that we expect to find even years after.
Do we drill down? Do we know, for example, if it's just individuals who are directly impacted, or is it the whole community that suffers somewhat?
So it is actually the whole community. In the past, we used to think it's mostly people who are directly affected by something. So if you're someone who was in a house when the tornado happened last year, for example, if you're in North City, you're directly on the path of the tornado, you would likely have the gravest mental health impact. But from our research, we see that actually the impact goes further to everyone who's in the community. So 20 to 40% of people who are directly affected by something like the tornado or the hurricane would be affected. But it goes when we look into the larger community, and we've done this work over and over and again, we see that 5 to 10% of people in the community would be affected by something like the tornado or a hurricane.
Now, we've used the term storm fatigue. I've heard that tossed around the last couple of years. Is that really an accurate or a fair term for what people are experiencing?
So now I'm going to speak more from an anecdote, personal experience, because we are looking into studying this more systematically. And there is some literature on this. But yes, I have this here. I just moved to St. Louis last year, but I am having storm fatigue. People are remembering what happened last year, but at the same time, you're getting a lot of warnings all the time that something might happen again. We know that when traumatic events happen and other traumatic events, that activates the mental health impact that you've had before. That is a reminder of the traumatic event, and you keep feeling like something else might happen that actually makes your mental health worse. So I'm seeing it in myself. I'm seeing it in my team members, in my colleagues, people especially who had families who are children in schools who were in the path of tornadoes last year. We're seeing them being really affected by all the warnings that we're getting right now. So even though we haven't studied it in St. Louis, I would have to say this is something that I expect to see once we get the data.
Is it a really delicate balance between adequately warning the public about something that could directly impact their safety and kind of inflicting more mental health damage on people who might be suffering from something like PTSD because of previous storms?
I think that's a really important question because at least what we're seeing from our data from previous events, we tell people if you experience a traumatic event, be it exposure to tornado, hurricane, any other type of traumatic event, we know that if you're exposed to news about it, social media, if you're exposed to videos, that actually impacts your mental health. So we ask people who are exposed to stop being exposed to any social media or anything related to the event itself. So I am increasingly worried that increasing warnings might have the same impact that we're seeing from exposure to social media, exposure to news. And that is something I think we need to be researching more, but the government should be worried about more. I understand why governments seem, or universities or other businesses seem interested in warning people because of what happened last year. But I am getting worried increasingly about whether that also has a really adverse impact on mental health outcomes.
What do you think can be done? What maybe have you studied in the public health arena to really address some of the needs that people have both immediately after some kind of disaster and in the months following when we're at a place like we're at now where it doesn't seem like a lot's been done?
So we know this is something that was studied a lot. That's something called psychological first aid works. Psychological first aid just aims to address immediately after something happens the basic needs people have: food needs, shelter. And we found that when you address those issues immediately, that actually has a positive impact on the long-term mental health. We also know that people who have, as soon as you feel like you have some mental health issue regarding following any type of an event, it is very helpful to actually go and try to address those issues instead of waiting for them to become full-blown PTSD or full-blown depression. But I'm worried because I am looking into the recovery efforts from the tornado from last year, and it doesn't seem like we've done a lot of the just basic work that would be needed for people to start to getting back to their daily lives. We usually tell people, as soon as you can, go back to the routine of your daily life. But if it's been a year and your house is still not fixed, it is very hard to go back to your daily routine. So that makes me think that the impact here, the mental health impact is actually going to be very large.
That is WashU Public Health Professor Salma Abdallah.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Southern California drone maker Avex Aerospace is looking to take advantage of an upsurge in defense spending